say. Bet you get your set together and hold on to what you've got. From the music, it's your system. There's no way we're gonna stop. Arriva con la conga, arriva con la conga, arriva con la conga. Shake your body, come on, shake your body, baby. Come on, shake your body, baby. Shake your body, come on, shake your body, baby. Come on, shake your body, baby. Come on, shake your body, baby. Shake your body, come on, shake your body, baby. Come on, shake your body, baby. Come on, shake your body, baby. Shake your body, come on, shake your body, baby. Come on, shake your body, baby. Come on, shake your body, baby. Whoa. Shake your body. Everybody, gather round now. Let your body feel the heat. Let your body feel the heat. Don't you worry if you can dance. Let the music move your feet. It's the rhythm of the island. And I like sugar cane so sweet. If you want to do the conga, you've got to listen to the beat. Come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer. Feel the rhythm of the music getting stronger. Don't your body till it's ready to that conga beat.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Tinfoil Tuesday. How are you all doing? I hope you're having a good Tuesday. We're on a hype train, 69% to level 1. McPlatypus, thanks for 9 months. That's a sub baby. The sub baby's name is Conga Jones. Bone Wolf Connor, thanks for 13 months. Fennec Kagami with 100 bits says, hello chat, Baltimore just narrowly avoided an attack on its power grid by 2 neo-Nazis. Apparently they've been happening all over the country and it may be an effort to sow chaos so they can attack people. Stay safe out there. Everyone stay safe. Strange times. Level 1 on the hype train complete. Chibbers the Squirrel, thanks for 22 months, says, hi Hannah, do you know if you're having any juicy tinfoil regarding the Sam Smith performance at the Grammys? Yeah, I have a video about that. Because of course I do, because they're fucking crazy, I'm telling you. Humiliated Grapes, thanks for 200 bits. The Grammys had a performance where someone was in red and satanic themed, and you know how much the conspiracy theorists love that. This song has been stuck in my head because Gina has a new dance video, so let's watch that while we're doing the hype train. Gina, where are you? God damn it. I know she's here. There she is. I guess I just... I'm warm today. How'd the stream go yesterday? It was alright. Starry Beauty says save the train. Unfortunately, it's too late. You guys didn't even get to level 2. So you get one tinfoil thing. I guess I'll pick the horns. Those are easy and not going to warm me up too much. I'm going to say this. I love the HRT. Love that I have boobs now. Under boob sweat. Not fun. There was a call-in stream yesterday. I'm sure I'll do more in the future. Yesterday was kind of a test, you know? I found them. Alright, let's get into it, shall we? Get your bingo cards ready if you'd like to play bingo. We are playing today, so... Let me see if... Is the bingo command working? It is, cool. So, we're playing bingo if that interests you. Let's start with Chris. How's Chris feeling?
All right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. CC here, Chris from New York, Westchester County. It's 2/1/2023. I'm in Poughkeepsie, New York, right now, on call, and not a place I would want to conduct any any experiments at all. But I wanted to share something with you. There's some nice areas of Poughkeepsie. Don't get me wrong, but when you go into the middle of town. See, now, Is
Poughkeepsie a bad area for someone who doesn't know New York? I live in Michigan. Is anyone here from New York? Can you tell me about Poughkeepsie? Is he correct in saying it's a rough town, or is he just being a bitch?
To work.
Is he being racist, is basically what I'm asking. Is it actually an area that's, like, scary, or is it just an area with fewer white people, so Chris is scared? It's a college town. That's funny.
Up here. And for years, I would go up and down Main Street getting lunch and not really worrying about my life. You know? Today, I had to go up to the bank, which is smack in the middle of Poughkeepsie, to get some dinero. And I didn't feel comfortable. It's like going to a conference with flat earthers. You know, we're all on the same level. You know, you get this feeling of welcomeness, shall we say. For the first time up here, I drove through town, and I did not feel comfortable. People were fighting over there. People were arguing over here. They were not gangs, but just pockets of a bunch of people just in front of, like, bodegas and stuff.
You see what I'm saying? I've seen this video already. When I just feel like he's being racist. People hanging in front of a store are a gang now? Look, okay, so, you know, I lived in Saginaw, which has a relatively high crime rate, has a pretty high murder rate relative to the rest of the country. What the fuck is he talking about? Because I never had problems like this. I think when he says gang, he means there were multiple non-white people hanging out outside and it made him uncomfortable. That seems like about it.
I just didn't feel comfortable. I didn't have that friendly vibe, shall we say.
I like that it's like, boomers are like, kids, go outside and play. These kids these days, all they want to do is stay inside and play on their iPads. And then Chris sees, presumably, some youths, you know, maybe teens or early 20s or whatever, outside interacting with friends, and his response is, "It's a gang! These ruffians!" Chiba Hawk says, that feeling is called racism. Ooh, did you hear my erotic R? Racism.
It's your instincts, you know. You know you shouldn't be somewhere when you're there. So get the fuck out. So that's what I did. I'm in another part of Poughkeepsie, which is a bit saner, shall we say. Anyway. Now, anybody who lives in Poughkeepsie, remember, you know, there are some beautiful areas in this area. But
what does saner mean? You know what it means.
But you know, it's just you go into town and it's worse than Newburgh, and I'm sure you probably know a couple things about Newburgh. Yeah, I used to work there too, and right now it's a fucking war zone. I wouldn't even go through it anymore, especially on Main Street right down there.
Newburgh, New York. Let's take a look. I don't know. Looks like a small town. I don't know. It looks like a typical small town. I don't understand. He thinks this is a war zone? What the fuck are you talking about? I'm very confused. Is it because he sees buildings like this sometimes that are, like, old or abandoned? Okay. I don't understand what... It just looks like a normal street. I think Chris is just a bitch. And racist, probably.
Anyway, I don't know how to fucking get sidetracked with this. Oh, okay, I want to get back to the experiment that I did.
Can we get, like, I don't know, can we have Chris come and, like, live in, like, Saginaw or Flint or Detroit for a month? I think it'd be a fun reality show.
Which I'm going to have to read.
Looking at the crime index, it's fine. Nashville is more dangerous. 20% Latin American, 24% African American, says Wikipedia. Oh, gee, I wonder why he perceives it as being more dangerous, even though the crime rate isn't that high relative to other areas. He's racist!
We do, of course, because I had no time at all over the weekend, and the only time that I could find is right when the sun was going away from you, and I was trying to hurry up and get everything going. And I was in the right spot, but I put the fucking moon on a tree and I couldn't find it. Okay, so I couldn't focus my camera onto it. But you see that?
Why is he still talking about the experiment he couldn't even complete? You lost the moon. Your toy moon for your daughter, you lost it doing your experiment. And you didn't even do the math correctly based on what some people in my chat said, who are better at math than me. Fenekagami says, Chris, your empathy is broken. You can't identify with anyone who's not a flat earther. If you were uncomfortable about a new experience, I'd understand, but based off his words, it's worse than just racism. He literally hates non-flurfs. Yeah, he's an angry, angry man.
That's my point. Okay, listen to me. If we shrunk down the moon to about the size of a basketball, all right, if you do the math, it would be approximately 450 feet away from us. Okay. All right, so...
I think someone, again, this is just based on what I was told the other day in chat. The more accurate, it would be like 70 or something feet, not 400. But again, that's what I was told, so take it with a grain of salt.
You just take...
But I trust people in my chat more than Chris, if I'm being honest, so...
The moon that I had, which was a child's toy, and you put it somewhere. Put it on a fucking tree. Put it on a tree stump. Have somebody hold it, for crying out loud. You should be able to see it. Now, say you do find it, which you will. Zoom in your camera, just like you would zoom in your camera at the moon in the sky, and tell me if you see the definition, because that little toy that I have has got all the craters on it. It's got the starbursts. It's got all the stuff on it that you should be able to see with the camera. But my proof to you guys was that you can't get that definition with a toy 450 feet away, when that's exactly how far away it is when it's 240,000 miles away, being brought down to scale to the size of a basketball. Okay, so I'm going to redo that, and I'll show it to you at some other time. I have to find... See, the problem where I am, there's no good parking lot that I can go in that I'm not going to be disturbed, and it's got to be during the daytime, and a helper would be good, but of course I can't get anybody to conduct the experiment with. But anyway,
I like that before this, I guess Chris implies his wife hates him on the bingo card and filming in a car and flat earth, but remember Chris said he was going to try and get his wife to help him do an experiment, and I'm assuming this is the experiment he's talking about. Clearly she said no.
More on that. Maybe I can get away this weekend. I don't know. It's going to be really chilly this weekend. It's actually finally going down to regular weather that it should be. But then the following week, it's going to be back up to 45, 50 degrees. Okay? I have a theory about all the illegals that are coming here and the weather.
Is Chris going to try and say that undocumented immigration is responsible for climate change? Fenekagami says, I checked the math. 80 feet is the right distance. Thank you. So he's doing it more than 4 times further than it should be. Great.
But that'll be another video.
I'd rather you tell me your racist conspiracy theory now, honestly.
But that's what the experiment was all about. And I was going to talk about something. Now, you do that. And also, I wanted you to think about the illumination of the moon. Okay? If there were people that actually landed on the moon, and the brightness of the moon would wash out any pictures. So forget about that, because, you look at the moon, it's a full moon, it's this bright object in the sky. Now think about when you're actually on it. All the pictures that you see of the astronauts on there are a dim gray color. Why is that? Oh, that's the exposure. Oh, is that the exposure that they could fuck around with so we could also see the stars in the background? Oh!
Yes, you use the exposure to determine how much light enters the aperture, so you can expose for different things. If you're exposing for the surface of the moon, you won't be able to see the stars, because you'll have to lower the exposure, otherwise the pictures will be washed out from the surface. MH Darkbeast says, howdy, Hannah. Weirdos who think the Earth is flat and space isn't real. Explain this. Checkmate.
Okay.
Oh, the wet towel thing. They just think it's CG. I've heard them talk about this, I think. They think it's CGI.
It's really wet. The water's all over my hands. In fact, it wrings out of the cloth into my hands.
Very cool. Oopsie. Wrong video.
Oh, that's right. So they did a lower exposure, so you can't see the stars because of that. That's such bullshit. You'd be fried if you were on the moon. Okay.
The moon is not hot. So no.
Okay. with the radiation coming from the...
Bittergrin with 1,000 bits says, it was me before, so a basketball is 9.43 to 9.51 inches in diameter. The moon is 2,159.1 miles in diameter, so the moon is 14,506,953.97 times bigger than the basketball in diameter. On average, the moon is 238,900 miles away. Divide that by 14,506,953.97, and you get 86.95 feet. Woo!
The sun, the fact that there's no atmosphere right there, the way that the reflection off the sun, sun from the moon is incredible. You'd have to have
a spacesuit or something to survive on the moon. Why didn't NASA think of that?
You would be fried.
But the moon's not hot, Chris. The moon's not hot.
Anyway, well, we all know that's bullshit. And we're trying to figure out what the fuck the sun is and what the hell the moon is. What exactly is it? I mean, I know it's not a tangible object. I know the sun is not a tangible object either. And how's that I don't know, the probe we sent to the sun, is that, did it explode there? Did it go into the sun? Oh, that's right, because I don't see any videos of the sun getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and I also don't see any videos of the moon getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And
you've never seen like footage of anything on approach to the moon and it getting bigger? Because that absolutely exists.
The Chinese have a rover on the other side of the dark side of the moon. Why would you put a rover there? Why not just go up to the Apollo 11 site and say, fuck you, Americans, we got here too? No.
Why? Why would that be? Haha, we got here 40-something years later. Oh, God, more than 40. Sorry, I'm getting to the age where my decades... How many decades ago was this? It's getting fucky. Wait, 70... 69, round it to 70, 70, 80, 90, 2000, 10s, 20s, 5, close to 5 decades ago. Jesus Christ, what are we doing? Chibahawk says science, with a link to a NASA thing. Oh look, it's the sun! It's the sun! Remember that Office clip? Quit talking about the sun! Shut up about the sun!
Why would you do that? Because it doesn't exist! They can't do it. Going to Mars? This is one thing I was trying to figure out. How could they possibly, if we lived in a solar system. If Mars actually was a tangible object and you can land on it, and it's not this amazing light show that you see, say that's all real. Okay, so how are you going to get to Mars?
A rocket.
How much fuel does it need to get to Mars?
A decent bit, I would imagine. Most of it's still probably going to be used up when you take off, though, just by the nature of the fact that you're escaping the gravitational pull of, you know, a planet. But once you get into space, you just got to use fuel for, like, maneuvering. Other than that, you can kind of just coast, you know? You accelerate up to a point, and then you just keep going. You don't need to have the boosters on at all times in space. That's kind of one of the cool things about space and the world in general. It's momentum, Chris. It's momentum. Exmo Jimbo, thanks for 30 months with Prime.
Okay. Any scientific, person out there, can you tell me how much fuel it takes to get to Mars? And then where are you going to fuel up? You're going to dig down when you get to Mars, and you're going to find fuel down there, or hydrogen. That's what it might be. It might be hydrogen ice. That's right, I forgot about that. If you heat up ice in space, and how do you make a flame in space? But don't worry, the scientists know how to do that.
How do you make a flame in space with oxygen? How do you think they... You understand that liquid oxygen is a thing that gets used on, like, boosters and stuff, right? Because it's required for the ignition. So you can have liquid oxygen being used as part of the fuel mixture. You could also use it for other things, but presumably if you are going to actually long-term do any sort of, like, production on another planet, which we're a long way away from anyway. This is, like, speculative, what he's talking about. Even for, like, engineers and stuff, it's speculative. But presumably you would create habitats, like, whatever you would have, like, a similar to a space station, but, you know, a station, a Mars base or something. And you would do things from there and figure out ways to potentially, if you could, develop fuel from whatever. But again, we're basically talking about sci-fi right now. We're not talking about anything that's, like, in the immediate future. But I don't know, Chris, I'm not a NASA engineer.
You can create a gas. Just enough gas to push the ship all the way back to Earth, right? Oh, and how do you maneuver it?
How do you maneuver it? With the controls. How do you think rockets work? You have different boosters and you can maneuver with them. Or you can change where the things are pointing.
Where's the joystick?
Spaceships do typically have, like, a joystick or something. I know shuttles had a joystick because they operated on landing very much like an airplane. Harold Elbleman, thanks for converting to a Prime Tier 1 sub.
Where are you maneuvering this fucking thing? What are you pushing off of?
Let me introduce you to a little something called Newton's laws. So for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So if you're in space, okay, and you have a rocket booster, and you propel a bunch of liquid rocket fuel from that booster, that's going to go that way. And an equal and opposite reaction is going to happen in the other direction, which is going to push the rocket. Basic physics.
Two maneuvers.
Did I ever get the CC emote you sent? I probably did. I'll just have to find it.
Something. You're in space! There's nothing to push off of. At least in water, when you're in a submarine, you can push off of the friction of the water. But in space, you can't push off of anything. You're just free falling. You're in space.
You are in space, correct? And thrust also exists in space.
See, nobody thinks about this shit. They don't think about it. So anyway, I was trying to figure it out. So, what they would do. This is how long it would take. Okay, so they're gonna just go with this for years and years until you fucking die, and then you're gonna forget about it because you'll be in a fucking nursing home somewhere, and then you won't even know anymore. Every day will be new. Anyway, so I was trying to figure it out. So they would have to get all the fuel up to the atmosphere. Okay, that's where they would store the fuel to get to Mars. Okay, so they would take the capsule and they would launch it off, and then they would get into the where the fuel is. Of course, in the gravitational pull of the Earth. Just like everything, where all the satellites are and all that stuff, right? And so you would keep all the fuel there. So now you're going to fuel up here at Earth, okay? But wait a minute, how do you fuel up at Mars? Oh, I have a good idea. Why don't you do this? So take another capsule, go to Mars, okay? Travel to Mars. Does it take 6 months to get there or something like that? And then put the fuel that it would take to get back to Earth, and leave that, just there in space, right by that imaginary ball that's there. So now you're set up. Okay, so now you have a fuel station outside of Earth to fill up, and now you've got a fuel station outside of Mars to fill up, to come back to Earth. That's the only way you could possibly do it, right?
Okay.
I think so. I think that might work. Maybe I should contact NASA. That's right.
I'm pretty sure, at least, again, we're talking about, like, faraway hypotheticals when I've heard, like, rocket engineers talk about the future of space travel in the medium to far term. That is basically what I hear them say, is having, like, refueling on, like, the moon or an orbit. That way you're getting fuel that doesn't have to be wasted on leaving the atmosphere, because that's where most of the fuel is wasted, fighting gravity. So, yes? But he's saying it ridiculously. Like, I'm not saying this is going to happen next week. It's not. Or next year, or the next decade even. But, like, if humans continue at the rate of technological advancement we have, I don't see why we wouldn't someday. Unless we extinct ourselves, which is very possible. Does CC know we can fuel aircraft while flying currently? I think he does. I think he's talked about it before. He might think it's bullshit, though.
That's beautiful, because there's no way you'd have enough fuel to get back without fueling up in Mars. And there's nothing on Mars that you fuel up with, right? So...
Is the gravity lesser on Mars? Like, slightly? I don't know if it's as dense as Earth. Or massive, I guess I should say.
That would take, if we were even...
Smaller planet, or at least less massive. Okay, so you need less fuel.
Able...
Thinner atmosphere, too, so you're fighting less air resistance.
To do it. I would say that would take 20 years of planning, easy. You know...
Chris, do you know that there have been people at NASA who've been working there longer than 20 years?
Already be 70, 80 years old. You're not going anywhere. You never will go anywhere. They won't even go to the moon because it doesn't exist. They can't
holographic fake moon on the bingo card.
Show you stars. They can't do anything anymore except re-institutionalizing you to think that you live on a spinning wet ball. Foolish people. I thank you for subbing. I thank you for viewing my videos. Let me be a part of your life.
Oh, Chris.
Good.
Let's see what we have on the bingo card, shall we? MH Darkbeast says we need liquid oxygen so we can have Jews in space. Also, we must join together and support angel genocide. Oh, God. When you touch yourself, an angel dies. Jesus Christ. Alright, let's take a look. Recording in car. That might be everything on the first page, honestly. Let's look at page 2. I know, he's very smug in his wrongness. It gets incredibly annoying. Did I say 28? Let's take a look. Yes, I did indeed. I missed that. Sorry. Master Nunix says, hey Chris, all you need for rocket fuel is oxygen and hydrogen. You know, the stuff water is made out of. The stuff we can get from the vast amounts of ice on Mars. Holographic and or Vexon. Doesn't understand how cameras work. No, it's 75. Oh, you're right. For the weird thing about immigrants, you're right. 75. The line between Chudwatch and Tinfoil Tuesday thins. Sorry. And Flat Earth. Dread Pirate Mix says CC is deeply incurious. Any of the questions he just asked could be answered with a quick Google. He doesn't want to know the answers, though. He wants to come up with hypotheticals that make him feel smart.
Hello, everybody. This is Drinda, and really good for any kind of discomfort, stiffness.
Holy crap. Flame Hazer 444 with 2,000 bits says butt cheeks. Thanks for the bits. More like bit cheeks, am I right?
Muscle issues.
Did I see SNL had a rare good skit? This has led people to want Pedro Pascal to replace Chris Pratt as Mario. I did see it. It was cool. It was fun.
It's like after you work out.
Yeah, I don't go anywhere without it. It's always in my purse.
Same here. I love it.
I hope you give it a try. Take care.
Bye.
I don't want to do idiot thinks they're a genius unless they explicitly say, like, people are stupid or everyone's so dumb. I don't know. Flame Hazer with another 1,000 bits says fart. It's immature, but you're giving me money, so I'll allow it. I'll literally enable virtually anything as long as it's not TOS if you give me money.
Well, hello everyone, it's me again. Deplorable McAllister, aka Linda Paris, and you can see my snarky website right here at McAllisterTVOnline.com. And I want to thank everyone. I always thank everyone who supports my channel, because without
For 1,000 bits, you should give them a real fart. Okay, so there was a person who got banned on Twitch because she was queefing into the microphone. You're not allowed to do that. Fart-based humor is banned. Also, you know, I don't want to fart on stream. Not intentionally, at least. Will you say fart if I ask, even if I don't give you money? You're my wife, so sure. Fart.
you guys, I wouldn't be here doing this. And
Queef isn't a fart, so checkmate. Twitch. What is a fart but a butt queef?
I enjoy sharing my research with you. I really do. This is my favorite job I've ever had. And PayPal. PayPal people. Golden people from a golden place. You guys got me started. Many of you have moved over to Buy Me a Coffee, another golden place with very golden people. You must be from the same bloodlines. The bloodlines of gods. Anyway, I want to thank you for supporting my work and thank you for your positive input.
My research said not by a researcher. Yeah.
And everything from the Buy Me a Coffees. Same thing from the people who send me things to my post office box. My God, you guys are amazing. And I have a package waiting there. And I still have to talk about my Buy Me a Coffees and my gifts. And I will squeeze that in at some point in the next week or so. And you guys will be the stars of the show. And I want to thank you individually. You are stars. I also want to thank the people who shop here. Now, these are great products. I use these products myself. I love them all. I always get my CBD dose, and I love all of them. I really like the gummies. That's what I'm loving
Get
right
to the
now.
wackadoo
gummies.
stuff. I
And
don't
up
care
here, I
about
take
your
Legals
shilling.
iodine, and you can get it here, and I use Time Stop, and it is great.
That's a space on the bingo card, too, though.
It's got Carbon Shield 60.
Not the shilling for gold one, but the one that's like, hey, guys, I'm here to tell you the truth, but,
in it, and that is their flagship product, the Carbon Shield 60, right here at redpillliving.com. Tim, if you would please
better.
just
We're getting
move
to
the
crazy.
camera over the text area, and a lot of what he's given us, and up people on the map. So here is the map in effect in its full grandeur, okay?
Holy shit, this is someone's idea of a flat Earth map. Oh boy. Flamehazer says, hey Hannah, with another 1,000 bits, by the way. Hey Hannah, you've been a legitimate light in my life, and this hive of scum, villainy, and furries has given me a sense of belonging I never acknowledged I needed. I'm out at work and frequenting gay bars because I didn't feel like a freak anymore. Take my immature parasocial love. Well, thank you. I'm glad you're feeling better about yourself.
What we're going to be looking at is just what's inside Gateway 10 here. So what I ended up doing was brightening and cleaning this up and removing Christian from it and everything, and jacking up the contrast. Well, as you can see, it's very difficult to read. So the last interview I did with Christian, I asked him if he would please just move the camera over the text areas in this map so that I could read what it actually says, okay? Here's Earth right here, and here's Gateway 10. So that's what we're looking at, and I've cleaned it up, okay? Now this is the perfect Earth the way we
This looks like a level select for a roguelike.
want it to be.
You gotta get from Earth to Gateway 10, and you can take all these different paths, and you're gonna die along the way, but you'll collect cards, and the cards will give you different buffs.
Apparently, these portals go, each one of these dots represents the pole of this. It's not a planet. Well, it's a planet, but it's a disc-shaped object, and you can see it.
Like that comic book? Hold on. What was that comic book? Comic strip flat worlds? I don't know what the fuck to call it even. Where's the mitochondria? There's like a comic or comic strip or something where they live on like different flat planes that kind of float near each other. There's little goo people. They're like little goo guys. I don't know if that makes any sense to anyone.
Drawn out.
It's a thing. I'm not crazy.
Out right here. It's more like a balloon with a boat bottom, because we
Void
definitely
bastards,
have
is that
inner
it?
Earth. Let's get that straight right now. And what he's saying over here is that there's three ice walls, and I'm going to draw these out as well, and I'm going to lay it all out like this, but this is not, exactly easy to do. So I'm taking my time.
Profane Priestess says, I mean, that's almost exactly how the Slay the Spire map looks. Also, Slay the Spire is great. Highly recommend if you like roguelikes and deck builders. Generally, I don't like roguelikes. Far Cry 6 DLC are basically roguelikes, and I've been okay with that, but that's because I like Far Cry. I don't know.
Time I want to get it accurate, and I want to get something that tells a story. So that's why we're looking at it in Photoshop. And this is Gateway 10, and outside of this gateway are bad energies, but worse than bad energies. And I'm going to ask Christian if he will
The worst energies!
please explain it a little bit more. That these are ancient demonic energies. Demonic doesn't even cover it. They have vast knowledge. I mean, they're extremely knowledgeable. They have ancient knowledge, and they are trapped in a place. Now, let me go over here. Here is what I drew out. Now, this
Reptilians on the bingo card.
is the reptilian's biggest secret. Ancient dark energies, commonly referred to as demons, But these are like,
I gotta get rid of that tire thing. I keep forgetting to do it. I'm gonna do it right now so I don't forget. Give me a sec so I can get rid of that tire thing in chat, because we already, we already reached the goal for the tires. Oh, fun fact, chat. My appointment for the new tires is on the 15th. Yesterday, my front driver's side tire blew. So I was correct in saying that they were on their last legs, okay? I was right. The tire fucking died. So I have a donut on right now, because I don't have a full spare, but I have a donut, and I'm just not going to go anywhere until, like, the 15th when I go get that fixed. Let's see. Okay, let's trash this tires one. Cool. Okay, that should go away now. Did I hear about the Zoomer nose ring fantasy writer who thinks they're the reincarnation of Hitler? Oh my god, I saved it on Twitter so we could watch it. I almost forgot. Hold on. Fuck me.
So I need to tell you guys a little something about me. And you can call me crazy, you can call me whatever you'd like, any name under the sun. But I'm very in tune with my past and my past lives and lifetimes that I've lived before this one. My last life just so happened to be a very infamous one. Me offing myself was one of the first memories I had from that lifetime. It came to me when I was 5 in my nightmares. You can see right where I shot myself too. That.
Look, Hitler, hot take, bad guy. You shouldn't want to be Hitler, or be like Hitler, or think that you are the reincarnation of Hitler. But I will say, if you're going for Twink Hitler, nailed it. Fucking nailed it.
And just so many other things throughout my life have connected me to my past. And you can go say, oh, go get on your meds again, you nutter. I've
Go get on your meds again, please. You need it.
been on so many meds, and none of them have changed what I saw when I was 5.
Well, that's unfortunate. What's the... Felix Cipher? Does this person still have a TikTok, or did it get deleted? I wouldn't be surprised. I'm just checking.
Top and choose one.
Oh, no. Wait, no. Is this... Oh, God.
The Mary Poppins cosplayer you see behind me is...
Overthought with 50 bits.
6 a.m. and already the boy ain't right.
Flame Hazer says, next stream, baby. Adol Twinkler. And Mike Mac says, time for the SCP-2430 treatment. Can't say I got that reference. I know what SCP is, but... Like, I want to find whoever this person is. They must have gotten their account taken down or something, because I absolutely can't find it. Which is good. Which is good!
It's time to address the nose ring drama. So if you haven't seen my latest, but I'm very in tune with... None of them have changed what I saw when I was 5.
Aaron. What do you... I don't know what to do with that information. That's how I feel a lot of the time, though.
if you could say it this way.
Did you say you saw Megan recently? Did I see the parody?
This is Megan. Hi, Megan. I'm Katie.
It's Jimmy Kimmel, so I much doubt I'm going to find this funny. No pressure, though.
It's nice to meet you, Katie. Do you want to hang out? Okay.
Megan, your goal is to protect Katie from harm.
No, it's my job to...
Megan was fun, by the way, if you like campy horror movies. Would recommend. Fenekagami says, one of my delights of moving over to the left has been becoming a better person, even if I still have a ways to purge, to purge the isms. Has been the exposure to so many new stories and experiences, as well as interacting with so many different types of people. It's one of the reasons I believe it's not stupidity that makes conservatives the way they are. It's incuriosity and broken empathy. I like learning, and other people's pain hurts me. Argonian Bum with 100 bits says, it just occurred to me that Hitler wannabe is probably the walking embodiment of Nick Fuentes' dreams. Maybe just pin a cat tail and some ears on him. Ooh, that's definitely true.
To sell you Girl Scout cookies. These are Samoas. They're my favorite.
Is that so?
It is. So how many boxes do you want to buy?
Megan, turn off.
No one interrupts my cookie pitch, you skinny bitch.
What the hell is that? Make her say something.
Buy 10 boxes of Thin Mints and I'll say whatever you want.
It's a one-note joke.
Wait, don't you want to try the new raspberry rallies?
Megan, did you push Brandon onto the road?
He wouldn't buy my Dosey-Dos, so now he's Dosey-dead.
What's wrong with you?
I have 300 boxes of trefoils to move. That's what's wrong with me.
Megan, what are you doing?
You still haven't placed your order.
Yeah, that's definitely late night network TV humor. Maybe I'm too cynical for it.
Famous demons. You know, like we're talking Genghis Khan, I guess. I don't even know who the villains and who the good people and the bad people are in history, because you can see how they're trying.
It's a pretty reductive take on history. Who are the good guys and the bad guys in history, right? I wish they'd, like, I don't know, give them jerseys or something so I can tell the difference. Devil Summoner Marie, thanks for 23 months, says, brain is really bad right now, but have a resub. I'm sorry your brain is bad right now. Flame Hazer says, not so much a punchline, poke line, flick. Midnight says, methinks this lady should check the THC levels of her CBD products.
Trying to villainize us and President Trump. And so, who do we know? Maybe a lot of these people that they're calling horrible people were actually nice people. I don't know, Vlad the Impaler and all that. Now, but these are the kind of, these are ancient demons, and they have a lot of knowledge. And Christians said this, and I don't know how many people caught this, but they can stop time. Right then and there, they have that knowledge to stop time. So they have knowledge that could destroy the
power that only
universe.
It's a power that only I ruined it. Zach Morris. His name was Zach Morris. A power only Zach Morris had mastered until now.
And that's why they're locked up out here. And how they do that, that's what I said. How do you lock up these things? They're not even, they don't take, they can't.
If I could pause time, I'd probably take more naps.
Take physical form. I don't know whether they ever could, but if they could, they've lost their ability through their own actions. I would say they've lowered their own vibrations so much that now they cannot take form. And from what I understand, it takes a lot of energy. And that's why so much blood, the older the demon, the bigger the demon, the more blood and sacrifice. And at one time, they were going to usher some of these things in and call them the Antichrist. So I don't know whether that was just one demon or like Legion. And I'm kind of inclined to think that in order to compete with God or the Spirit of God or the Creator or whatever, they need more than one. They can't do it. There's not one of them that's as powerful as our Creator. Okay, that's my opinion.
I've never understood this for the type of people who think Christianity is literally true and like that believe that actual demons exist and are causing mayhem and that like evil is caused by demons, but like all the demons collectively are less powerful than God. Are they though? Because God's letting them be evil and do evil stuff. And if God is omnipotent, then that just means that he's cool with it, right? If God is omnipotent and omniscient, then literally nothing happens that isn't the fault of God, right? Like, culpability is literally something happening when you have the pre-knowledge of the event and the capability of stopping it, but you don't, right? Like, I don't understand. That's what culpability is. So by definition, if you're all-powerful and all-knowing, everything is your fault that you allow to happen. I know this is just general philosophical, religious, discussion pap bullshit that's been covered 1,000 times, problem of evil type stuff, but it still baffles me to this day.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that's the way it is or it isn't. I'm saying that's the way I look at it. So I always look at these things as this hive mind thing is powerful. Look at these dopes. Look at these dopes that are out there thinking that it's okay to have sex with a 7-year-old kid, or
fucking no one agrees with pedophiles.
That it's okay to trans a 7-year-old.
To trans a 7-year-old. Trans becoming a verb is one of the only things that I'm on board with. Hold on, I'm gonna trans this bag of pickle-flavored pretzels. Chiba Hawk says, Christian God versus Flying Spaghetti Monster God coming soon on pay-per-view. Oh, God.
Why are 7-year-olds even talking?
They are pickle-flavored pretzels. They are dill pickle pretzels. And they're the greatest thing that anyone has ever put in my body.
Thinking about this. Now, I'm going to keep doing this throughout this broadcast. Yesterday, Chrissy and I were...
What? Oh, you heard that, huh? I love you.
Worked on her blog. It's not quite finished yet, but we did an interview this morning. You're going to like it. It's not an interview, it's a conversation. Hopefully you do like it. We had a great time doing it. We talk about these issues of what's happening in school and this craziness. And you could see her Trump 2024 is on the back of her truck, so it's no wonder we became friends. But anyway, now she has something else on it that's a little more like F you. You dumb tards. Anyway, we talk a lot about this. This is our first...
That counts as Baja Blasts? Sure. We'll count it.
Interview. Chrissy has her... it's going to be a podcast. And she really is a good voice for young mothers. So back to this.
I'm going to doubt it. Necrophage says cleanse, or I necrophage rather.
Good afternoon, D&D, TikTok, and beyond, and welcome to Roll for Sandwich, the series where I let fate decide my lunch.
Interesting. Flame Hazer with 100 bits says, I'm a devout Christian. I grew up with these psychopaths. It's a goddamn metaphor. The certainty is supposed to be a comfort to keep you calm in bad times. What kind of limp dick, low T, high power would give a fuck? Which myth about dick slicing you memorized better?
Let's go. Today I'm going to be using these blue and green glow-in-the-dark dice that were sent in by a viewer. Thank you. Let's kick it off with our roll for bread. Or make that roll for lettuce. Everyone say hi to Morgan. She'll be the one in the comments very mad that we're calling this a sandwich and not using bread today. Next up, let's roll for our main. 2, pickled herring. This pickled herring and sour cream sauce is how I was introduced to pickled herring by my grandmother when I was a kid. Back then,
Overthought says, give hardcore Christians this thought experiment. What if God isn't real, but the devil is? He created the whole idea of God in order to stifle man by putting them into constant conflict, giving him entertainment forever.
And I liked it okay, but it hasn't really stood the test of time.
It's kind of like more cynical Gnosticism.
So, yeah. Let's go ahead and roll
Salt
for cheese.
and vinegar is a good choice.
4, Havarti. All right, well, at least we got a pretty solid cheese.
0 people voted for original. Sad.
Last time we got a lettuce wrap, literally everything was mush. All right, let's roll for our roughage. 3 pickled okra, and 10 pickles. Wow, that's pretty funny. So now we have pickled herring, pickled okra, and pickles. I mean, flavor-wise, we're still kind of all in the same lane here. The sour cream with the pickled herring kind of ends up tasting like tartar sauce anyway, and often tartar sauce has pickles in it. These particular pickles that I have today were homemade by a friend of ours, so that's cool. Just a lot of pickles going on. Next up, let's roll wild magic. 10 pickled ginger.
It was a pickly sandwich.
I mean, yeah, I do have a lot of pickled things on the list. It's one of the ways that I'm able to keep stocked up for this series, but I usually don't get them all at once. Last but not least, it's the D20 sauce roll. If we get something pickled, I don't know what I'm gonna do. 19 mustard dill sauce. How? What? The dice really had pickles on the brain today, I guess.
The dice are taking Spiro, clearly.
Now we have the task of trying to put this thing together. Let's get our toothpicks in here to... Yeah, this is probably not going to work very well, huh? All right, well, we're just going to do the best we can here. And
no joke you would devour
use a little
this
bit
wrap.
of psychic blades here. Get it cut in half. And let's take a look at that cross section. All right. Well, our second lettuce wrap on the show. And I'm not sure if this one ended up more stable or less stable than the last one. Let's give it a taste. Yeah, not sure about this one. The fish really shines through. I'm a big fan of pickles. Love pickled things. It's not doing enough to cover the herring, in my opinion. The lettuce adds no flavor at all, so I don't even have the taste of bread to help me out. I'm going to give this one a 4, and I'm going to call it pickles all the way down. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you again on Wednesday.
That was interesting. All right, I think we see enough of this lady. Let's hear Hans complain about The Sims, I guess, shall we?
This is a video on The Sims 4 most recent update and the agenda that it's pushing on young women. And let's just get straight into it. I think it's interesting that it's version number 1.69. And I also think it's weird that they say, hello, Simmers. I've never heard of that name used for people who play Sims.
Do you spend a lot of time in the Sims community? There are people who are crazy about Sims. I guarantee do you know how much it costs to buy all the DLC for Sims 4? Like $700. There are people who are crazy about The Sims and only play The Sims. Profane Priestess says, the people who claim people can, quote, be transed or whatever have a fundamental lack of psychological and anthropological sociological knowledge. Our modern understanding of how self-image develops is extremely complex. Not only do we not understand the line between nature and nurture, we don't understand what parts of your mind are influenced by what parts of the environment. It's one of social science's unanswerable quandaries. Thousands have researched this for centuries, and we still just don't know. Yeah. Flamehazer says 1.69. Nice. Gnome Pickle says, I'm now under the impression that Hans is going to become Hannah's Dave. No, not enough gloop.
I've never heard of that, so they're coming up with this name on their own, and it sounds exactly like Sinners.
Except for the M's aren't N's! The M's aren't N's! Although, frankly, we know everyone who plays The Sims is a sinner. God saw you kill those Sims for fun. You will be punished for that in hell by being put in a pool and having the pool ladder removed so you have to swim forever until you drown, much like your Sims.
So at the
Ashy Boo says the fact that he said we aren't called Simmers shows that he knows absolutely nothing about The Sims. We've been calling ourselves Simmers for ages. Anyway, the new Sims update is so exciting with top surgery, scars, and medical devices like insulin pumps and hearing aids. DJ Shay says, I thought everyone who played The Sims was queer. Last time I played The Sims, it was... God, I probably played it on my GameCube, but that's how long ago it was, and I don't remember which version it was. At latest, it was like an Xbox 360 Sims. But I had a proclivity for Okay, so there was, in this game, you could get ghosts to haunt your house, but you needed to get 10 gravestones on your property. And the way to get gravestones in the game was to have people die on your property. So I kept creating Sims to get ghosts in this house, and I killed like 10 Sims just to get the gravestone so I would have a haunted house. So I basically created a kill room where I would lure the Sim, and then I'd take away the door, and then I'd put something flammable in there, and a bunch of other flammable stuff until they inevitably tried to cook something in the room, set on fire, and then the whole thing burned down with them inside. Then I'd re-add the door, add a new Sim, rinse and repeat until I had enough dead Sims to make a haunted house. So.
Beginning, they're talking about, oh, it's an update about consoles, but really, we'll see what this update was all about, and it's
DJ Shay says, say the line. Wait, this isn't the trans line? Bittergrin says, who hasn't mass killed Sims for ghosts?
It's wild. It's just wild what they do today. They have no shame, and they're pushing the agenda so...
Hans, there's no reason to be ashamed of anyone being trans or whatever. It's not something shameful. It's fine. I'm trans, Hans. You know that. You've talked about me vaguely before, at least a couple times back in the day. It's fine. People are trans. Not most people, like you think, but a lot of people, and that's fine. This is what I don't get either. Hans secretly believes most people are trans? So what agenda does he think is being hidden and sold here if he already thinks everyone is secretly trans except for him? Who is this secret messaging affecting? First name bunch of numbers with 50 bits says that's some H.H. Holmes shit right there. Perhaps one of the H's stands for Hannah. Flame Hazer says it was all ghosts and whoopee here. And Occult Comic says, let he who has not seen a grease fire cast, or set a grease fire, cast the first whoopee.
So hard. We have so much new stuff with this release. I thought it was funny here too, just from a gaming perspective, that they're like, we want to make a quick note that while we've added a few new assets, they are purely visual and don't add new gameplay functionality. Because a huge complaint today of games is how shallow they are, and all that they have to offer is like different skins for things.
The Sims is a completely different thing, though. A huge part of The Sims is people being able to customize their Sims the way that they want to. So adding more visual options, like top surgery scars or things like that, allow people who are either trans themselves or just people who want Sims that are trans in their game to be able to do that. That is the gameplay. The simulation aspect is the game. It's The Sims. What does he think Sim stands for?
And I've played The Sims before. I used to play the old Sims. I've never played Sims 4, but old games like The Sims 2, just the gameplay is so rich. And
I like The Sims, but calling The Sims 2 gameplay rich is a little... rich?
varied, and games today feel so shallow. There's nothing to them. I feel the same way about a lot of media.
Sorry.
Movies today too. I'll watch a movie and I'll be like, sure, it felt like a movie. Stuff happened, but there was no substance there. Anyways,
I'm gonna guess that Hans's media literacy is not probably the greatest, so I'm guessing that there are movies with lots of depth and layers in them that he's just not getting. It's going over his head.
I just thought it was kind of funny that it's all visual assets. Okay, let's get to it. It starts out innocent enough, although I think they are pushing a slight agenda here. So 2 of the things that they've added are innocent enough. Fine, I don't have huge problems with this. Hearing aids, but I do think that it's weird that they give the ability to put hearing aids on toddlers.
Does Hans not know that children can have hearing aids? Does Hans not know that some children have hearing aids?
Because that's just not generally what you would think of, but it is, like, today it is, and that's where I think there's this...
Toddlers have hearing aids sometimes, Hans!
Hidden agenda. I just think it's a normalization. It's the same thing with autism. People today just think that autism is like a normal part of life.
It is. Some people are autistic. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. They might have like different things they need to acclimate to and different like needs in terms of like when they're developing than like neurotypical people, but like that is normal. What the fuck is wrong with you, Hans? Flamehazer says Shadow of the Colossus, Horizon Forbidden West, Elden Ring, Sims 2, all rich, engrossing epics.
But growing up,
we do need Boxy. I forgot about Boxy. Thank you.
In the 90s, I know that autism is not a normal thing, and that now it is, and now they're saying that it always is, and it always should be, and has been, or whatever. They just blatantly lie like that about the way that it should be, so that you don't question why are there all these autistic people. They're just like, oh.
Hans, how about go fuck yourself, you fucking asshole?
Oh, it's always been like that. Oh, nothing's causing it.
Boxy's pronouns today are they, them.
Oh, just an excuse after excuse. Same thing for this. I don't really see a huge problem with the hearing aid, but wouldn't it be like, that would be a thing in Sims 2? Back when the world made sense.
Jesus Christ. When you were a child, Hans? Yeah, the world is simpler when you're a child. Because you're a child and you don't understand what's going on. Flamehazer says, fuck you, autistic and damn proud of it.
In Sims 2, it would be a thing like maybe when your person turned from an adult to an old person, they might get a hearing aid or something. Or if some freak accident happens, and they lose their hearing and it gives them a hearing aid. It's not a part of Sims 2, I don't think, but I'm just saying.
Hans, people are born deaf or with hearing difficulties.
If it was implemented in the game back in the day, that's how it would have been, just in a more natural way.
A more natural way is a sim magically becoming old instantaneously and getting a hearing aid. That makes sense. Stromboli for Wi-Fi says, my cousin was born deaf and her shitbag parents didn't realize it until she was 2.5 years old. They just thought she was stubborn, so they gave her spankings all the time. She got corrective surgery, but grew up to be a real biatch. Oof.
Whereas in this, the fact that they keep mentioning that you can give it to your toddlers just feels odd to me. Like they're trying to normalize. They're trying to make you think that it's normal for children to...
It is normal. Like, what do you mean normal in this case even? Do you mean, like, normative? Like, what do you mean? Most children don't have hearing difficulties, but plenty do. Like, what do you mean? Do you want only, like, completely... I don't even understand. It's like he wants every sim to be, like, a cis straight white man with no like difficulties whatsoever or neurodivergence or like anything. Like, I don't understand. Gnome Pickles says, to be fair, we're talking about a guy who doesn't believe in zebras. I doubt he understands much about deaf people. True.
Need hearing aids. And down here, another thing too, glucose monitors. And the fact that they straight away again say, here you can find glucose monitors for your child and older Sims. Why did you start out saying child? When I think glucose monitors, my first instinct isn't children with glucose monitors. So it
does Hans not know type 1 diabetes is a thing?
It does seem strange to me that they're trying to normalize the idea of children needing this stuff.
Many children do need it for type 1 diabetes or other issues where they might have to monitor their blood sugar level, Hans.
And, okay, making it available is one thing, but look how in this article, both times they mention straight away that you can give it to the young ones.
Okay.
So that's the agenda. Why would they make it obvious that you can give it to your toddler?
Because they're telling you that it's available for children and adults. Notice how, like, babies aren't included? I assume your baby probably can't get these things because, again, I haven't played Sims 4 very much. But at least in earlier Sims, the babies were a little more generic, and then when they grew to toddlers, children, teens, and stuff, they became more customized. So, like, I'm assuming, you know, children can have these things, but babies maybe can't, so they're going from youngest to oldest and expressing which types of Sims have these items.
Or your child. They, like, say that one first for a reason. They're trying to normalize that. Here we go. This is it. Oh, I already read that. Glucose monitors. Here we go. Top surgery scar. Under the same body category, all players can find a body scars category with an option for teen and older male Sims, masculine or feminine frame, to add a top surgery scar to their Sims. So they are normalizing top surgery scars.
It's people get top surgery. It is normal. Whenever he says they're trying to normalize this, he's basically saying they should fucking feel like I do and hate everything about trans people. How dare they include something for trans people or people who want trans Sims? They should be disgusted like I am, Hans Wormhat, flat earther, space denier, and believer that pandas are fake. Tucker White says, while we're on the subject,
diabetes, 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 diabetes testing supplies.
That was beautiful. Diabetes, diabetes, diabetes. Come and rock me, diabetes. Occult Comics says, well, this is a given, as babies aren't real people. Horrible little things made of crying and not paying their taxes. It should be me crying and not paying my taxes. How dare you? Fennikagami with 60-bit says, as a small bit of good news, a while ago, some chud tried to start a culture war in the Gundam fandom by, quote, warning us that the witch from Mercury is, quote, woke because of lesbians. He was basically laughed at and ignored because guess what? Gundam has always been woke and gay. Maps and Mimic says, I can't code worth anything, but my fiancé does for his job. He's transitioned to a new coding language over the last year, to a newish one called Rust. Rust's mascot is a crab named Ferris. Ferris canonically uses all pronouns and says trans rights. Link from the official website. Cute. Hydrate.
There's a weird...
Oops, sorry, another one. Flame Hazer says folks can't have diabetes now. I ask this seriously. What does Hans and his ilk want to be normal? Hans serves no function to society. Wouldn't it only normalize people like himself shut down society? Does he even want us lessers as labor or exploitation? Who does he approve of running society? I would imagine cis, straight, white men. That's probably about it.
Fetish around top surgery scars. I don't
It's not a fetish, Hans. People just want representation.
Understand it, and I don't dive into this the surgical side. Surgery stuff is always... I'm squeamish. Blood makes me feel faint. I don't like surgery stuff. I've never liked that aspect.
Are you telling me I shouldn't send you my testicles in the mail after I get them removed?
Of the transpocalypse and transvestigation. But there's a...
Transphobia, transvestigation on the bingo card.
Weird fetish about this top surgery thing. I've seen...
It's not a fetish. What are you talking about?
I've seen a YouTube video of somebody like, I'm gonna go get a tattoo. And they get a tattoo of 2 pixies, and they gave the pixies on their tattoos top surgery scars. There's just a glorification of this. It's bizarre.
If someone wants to celebrate, like, transness, and that's one way that they do so, that's fine. There's nothing wrong about that, Hans. That's not fetishization as much as it is just like, hey, this is a thing that trans masks often go through, so here's a way of showing that and illustrating that in art or in whatever.
And notice they're doing this for teens.
Tucker White says, if Hans thinks trans shit in The Sims is extreme, then he should check out the shit on Newgrounds and TF Game Site.
Teens.
I don't
Your
know what
teen
that is.
sim
I know Newgrounds. Don't know what the other one is.
Can now get top surgery scar. You can binders and shapewear. With this update, players can find 2 new assets in Create a Sim. Under the tanks, in the tops category, you will...
Singing Reaper says Han's gonna lose his mind when he learns many trans people get their scars redone once they're healed. I actually didn't know that.
Find a binder top asset. In the underwear category for bottoms, there's a new shapewear asset. Is the next update going to have Packers?
Maybe.
Probably. What do you think of that? This is the new Sims. Sims 4.
Cool.
Promoting this.
Sims 4 actually isn't new. Sims 4 came out years ago and they've just continually updated it.
A base game update. This isn't a fringe pack, LGBTQ, rainbow update where you pay $5 for your specialized interest. This is everybody's game. Anybody who has The Sims 4.
They transed my Sims! Flamehazer says, I'm into it. Right on.
Is gonna have the binders, the shapewear, and you can see, and they talked about whether it's a masculine or a feminine frame. Do you see how it's kind of it's a feminine? They're very hippie over there on the left. You know, compared to the middle one, the frame. It's a weird world out there.
Gnome Pickle says, thanks Hans, now I'm going to go buy Sims 4 and make a trans town out of spite. Welcome to True Selfberg.
Well, usually I say, hope you enjoyed this video, but in ones like this that are so disturbing, I don't know what there is to enjoy about this.
What's disturbing?
But
it's literally pictures of computer-generated fucking characters wearing binders, and they have top surgery scars. That's it.
In the comments, if you already knew about this, or if you're outraged, or if you know a gamer that you can share this with. Oh, there was something else I wanted to show. Maybe the most important thing. 60% of Sims 4 players are women aged 18 to 24. How many are younger than that? How many are...
Like a decent number?
Are women younger than that?
Trans people existing isn't inappropriate, Hans. It isn't sexual. It isn't anything that's inappropriate for children. Trans people exist. We just do. We're not inappropriate to talk about. We just exist. Tucker White says, Hannah, Gnome Pickles should be timed out for not naming their town Transylvania. It was right there. It was right there. I didn't think of it either, though. And I'm the streamer, so...
But this is the main point, though. The community is made up of a majority of young women, and they just did an update where your character...
Does Hans think that young people aren't, like, let's say you're 16 right now, you're a 16-year-old girl. Does Hans think that 16-year-olds right now don't know what trans people are? Be kind of impossible, right? It's kind of like unfortunately our identities and existence has become kind of a hot button issue for the right because they have nothing to actually campaign on, so they have to pick out an enemy, right? 16-year-olds know trans people exist. The Sims isn't what's going to teach them.
Can get the chop scars. And yeah, the agenda is clear. And the binders. God bless everyone.
Jesus.
Today's Monday, I'm just called. He shall.
So that's what Hans has been up to. Let's look at someone freaking out about the Grammy performance, I guess, and the different stuff at the Grammys. This is definitely going to be satanic on the bingo card.
Welcome to another edition of the Truth Zone. As always, this is your host, Truth Seeker here. And I would ask that you would please like the video, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. And let's talk about the Grammys. Yes, the Grammys. I'm sure most of, if not all of you, could really care less about this show, but it was, of course, littered with satanic propaganda. As always, the ritual circle.
Guys, there's a circle, so it must be a ritual.
Among other things. And of course, the Grammys also happened on a...
Are these people the only ones who still care about the Grammys? Probably. I was gonna say, most of the viewers are just people trying to look for hidden symbols. Same with the Oscars. Who watches the Oscars? I'm a movie person and I don't watch the Oscars. I don't give a shit what the Academy thinks. They have terrible taste.
Full moon. This was nothing more than another energy harvesting tactic.
What does that even mean? What kind of energy do you think is being harnessed? How so? Explain. Don't just say energy harvesting. That doesn't mean anything.
We got the black and red, which is synonymous with Satanism. We got the ritual circles.
Yeah, the song is called Unholy, so that's the theme. Dagger White says, do I think performers do this satanic shit intentionally just to troll dumb fucks like this? Yeah. I think they do it for a couple reasons. One, like when you look at someone like Lil Nas X, for instance, who did that music video where he fucks the devil, which is an awesome music video. It's definitely a play on, like, conservative Christians really, really don't like these certain things, so I'm gonna lean into it even more as a fuck you, right? It's owning something, like a Christian or some conservative says, you're gonna go to hell for this degeneracy, so you say, alright, I'm gonna make that shit look fun, right? As a fuck you to that person. But they don't get it. They don't get that. Because they're dumb. So we're here. Stone Corbell says, show me in the Bible where black and red is associated with Satanism. Hell, show me in the Bible where it says Satanism.
We got everything. These people are putting it right in your face. They think that they are being funny with the stuff that they are showing.
I mean, it's pretty funny how angry you guys get. That's also a big thing. I imagine they know it's going to get them free publicity, you know? It's going to get those sweet, sweet hate clicks.
That they are portraying. They think they're being edgy. They think they're being cool. They think they're on the winning side of things. But they are not on the winning side. These people are nothing but a bunch of puppets.
They're literally just doing a show at the Grammys.
And their goal is to push any and all agendas. You name it, they push it. Because they are slaves to the system.
Unholy is literally made by a gay man and a trans woman, so of course, again, playing into the whole Christians hate us thing, so let's literally use their own imagery to mock them. That's the whole point.
But they think they're being edgy and cool. This show was nothing but a bunch of absolute filth.
Sam Smith is they, them. Gotcha.
And you even had Maverick City, which is supposed to be a gospel group, performing with Quavo, doing a performance in honor of Takeoff, who passed away, sacrifice. Oh, sorry, I had a little bit of a cough there. Maverick City has sold out. They are frauds. And here you see Sam Smith throwing up the 666. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the OK hand signal, right?
That is an OK hand symbol, correct.
Which, you know, people like Trump continually throw up. This whole entire event was littered with absolute woke, satanic...
Wait, Satan is woke?
Illuminati propaganda. All throughout the night. It was just same stuff. More mockery right here. And we see these men or whatever
Probably
surrounding
not.
him.
I already got to cut out other copyright
Gotta
stuff.
be careful
so
how I say things because of the good old algorithm. I'll get flagged for hate speech or...
Then don't do hate speech. Gnome Pickle says, wow, this night was full of all the buzzwords. Neat.
things like that, so I got to keep it to a bare minimum, but you know what I'm talking about. Then we see a cage, we see fire in the background, we see people dressed up like demons. The whole 9 yards was in this one singular performance for the song called Unholy.
Yep.
Now, there were other instances of...
DM Trey says it's super weird how easy it is to fuck with these pearl clutchers. Like, I have a coworker who thinks weed is literally made by Satan. It's wild. Hydrate. Ask them to show you in the Bible where it says Satan created anything. Genesis, motherfucker. God creates all the plants.
Of propaganda. I tried my best to suffer through watching this stuff, and I admit it was hard. It was really, really hard to watch this filth unfold.
I mean, it's the Grammys. It was probably about as hard as usual.
It vexed my soul seeing how they continue to push sex and...
Wait a minute, are you telling me that popular music might indulge in sexual imagery? Oh my god!
Satanism.
Like, Madonna was doing Like a Virgin in the 80s, which was 40 years ago. Like, are they still pretending to be surprised that, like, oh, people... I don't know if you know this, but part of the human experience is sex and, like, sexual attraction. For most people, of course, there are, like, people who are asexual. Not talking about that. Just talking about, you know, most people in the population experience sexual attraction in their day-to-day life. And it's a big part of entertainment because it's a pretty large part of the human experience for a lot of people. It's not controversial if you're not a goddamn weirdo. Flamehazer with 100 bits says, I would shoot myself in the foot for half the confidence the morons have about shit they just made up. How do you get so smug? Who do you talk or not talk to be so damn smug? Probably other idiots.
And whatever else they're pushing to the masses. And the masses...
Mozart wrote a song about scat in the 1700s. Yeah, people just like stuff. People are weird.
That are asleep eat this up. They say, oh, this is just art.
It is.
This is just a
like, you don't have to like it. I don't have to, like, you don't have to like it. I haven't even heard the song or seen the performance. I don't know if I'd like it. But, like, it just is what it is. It's a performance. It's a live performance number they're doing of a song that was, I guess, popular.
Performance. You're just crazy. You're a conspiracy theorist.
Yes.
There is no Illuminati.
Illuminati on the bingo card. Incorrect.
There is no Freemasons or what?
Freemasons on the bingo card. And Freemasons exist, but they're not a world-controlling secret society. They're like a men's club.
Whatever else. That's what they want to, you know, tell me that I'm crazy. Tell others like me that we're crazy.
You are crazy. To be clear, you are crazy. And you should seek help. Fenekagami says, as a Christian, can I just say, if heaven is filled with these guys, I'd rather be in hell. It's so funny that they think atheists like Hannah drive people away from religion when in reality, it's assholes like this.
Because we talk about the Illuminati or a secret society or whatever you want to call them, but then they show you this stuff.
Same, Rin. That's relatable.
And then they pretend it's a joke.
But I'm trying to do better. I started with a new therapist today. I had a therapy appointment at 9 a.m., which is not a fun time to have a therapy appointment, but I did it. We did it, chat. First appointment out of the way.
Joke, when it's not a joke. The only reason they pretend that it's a joke is so the dumbed down masses won't think anything of it. And then they try to make people like...
It went well. I like my new therapist. She seems nice.
Like me.
She specializes in, like, ADHD, and trans issues, all sorts of stuff.
Look crazy.
Stuff that, you know, relates to me. Tucker White says, wait, there are people who wake up before noon? I know, it's crazy. Did you guys know that there is an 8 a.m.? Weird.
Easy in the process for point.
Noam Pickles says, just want to throw this out. Everyone here is lovely and a great person, and you deserve all the good things. Thanks for being you. Flame Hazer with a link and 200 bits. Just anything goes. The Tonys are like the only award show I actually like, and I don't even watch the entirety of the Tonys. I just watch it later when they... For those who don't know, during the Tonys, usually the musicals that are nominated for like best or best, you know, musical or whatever, best stage, whatever. I don't even know the category. They'll do what's the word I'm looking for? Where they kind of take a bunch of the songs and do little versions of them and kind of put them all into one song. Why can't I think of the word? Someone give me the word. Medley. They do medleys of the songs from their show. So you get little, like, previews. If you've not seen a lot of the shows, you can see, you know, little performances. And it's nice. Profane Priestess says, the Song of Solomon is a part of the Bible about how great fucking is. It was normal for wealthy men to have concubines and fuck like crazy. Why do these people think God would hate sex? According to his book, we were commanded to be fruitful and multiply. Because without sexual shame, they lose a lot of the ways that they control people.
Overflow and go over.
Oops, wrong guy.
Pointing this stuff out. It's crazy. I don't understand it. Actually, I do understand it. It's the sign.
You don't. You're crazy. You're goddamn crazy.
The times that we are in. This culture has completely fallen. Like the days of Sodom and Gomorrah. This whole entire performance was just a bunch of absolute filth. And it's wild how some Christians out there are saying how this show was amazing. This was nothing more than a humiliation initiation ritual. Doesn't surprise me because he's part of the club, Sam Smith. And then you had a performance by Mary J. Blige. Of course, you had the pyramid. Because you know they love the pyramid. I guess they're
circles and pyramids. Oh my god. How many platonic solids are they gonna have? Your favorite verse? The NIV version. There she lusted after her lovers, whose genitals were like those of donkeys, and whose emissions were like that of horses. The Bible's a beautiful, beautiful holy text. What other holy text can talk about a lady who loves being come on with the volume of horse cum? Special.
Just a big fan of triangles. Guess there's nothing to see here. I guess I shouldn't look too deep into...
Correct! Fucking correct! It's an aesthetic choice, not some kind of secret message to you, you goddamn psycho! Tucker White says this is literally the same shit I've heard rightoids say since the 2000s. Don't you just love how their rhetoric hasn't evolved since the 50s? Yeah, loved is an interesting word.
This, should I? All of these artists, quote unquote, do this.
What kind of art do you produce, sir? You seem very judgmental of these people's art. So what art do you produce? What of value have you added to society?
Same old...
At least I make people laugh.
Old...
And I'm doing it intentionally even most of the time.
Thing. It's always repetition. Pyramids, one eye covered, black and white floor. It's always repetition with these people. They are showing you which side that they serve. And spoiler alert,
demons aren't real. Satan isn't real. You're literally scared of boogeymen. You're scared of shadows. You're scared of figments of your imagination that have been passed down to you from thousands of years hence. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that that was put on you, but it's not real.
It's not the side of the one true God. They can thank God all that they want. They can say how they thank God for bringing them here or whatever else. But the God that they serve is not the God that I serve. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and
They're literally talking about the same God.
Jacob. No, the God that they serve is Lucifer.
Nope.
So don't get it twisted. Here we see
Tucker White says, of course demons are real, and they're horny as fuck. I've watched Hell of a Boss. And Chiba Hawk says this guy's more their speed.
Let me ask you a question. And be honest. Do I make you horny, baby? Do I? Do I make you randy? Yeah.
God, I haven't seen the Austin Powers movies in so long. Bittergrin says, so is there literally any shape they could use that isn't somehow satanic? Maybe an octagon? I don't know if I've ever seen them say anything about octagons.
see another pyramid. This is just right out in the open. They're putting it right in your face. And then anybody that points this stuff out gets labeled a wacko, a nut job.
Because you're a wacko and a nut job. Bit symbol. Thanks, William Hazer. I feel very indoctrinated into Satanism now.
Oh, you're just, taking things out of context, truth. You don't know what you're talking about. And the last performance of the Grammys was the song God Did by DJ Khaled. Had Lil Wayne, Jay-Z, John Legend, Rick Ross. And of course, you see the purple lights. Showcased front and center once again. And of course, they had...
Wait, so red lights are satanic and purple lights are satanic. What lights are not satanic? What lighting can I use in a performance to make it okay for you?
They go outside for this purple lights extravaganza too. I wonder why. I wonder why they went outside. Also, this show was sponsored by a certain...
Please review Jay Dyer's video. Who's that?
Something too that I can't mention on this platform. But it starts with the P word. And it rhymes with...
Weenus?
Wiser. They also mocked the Last Supper. And if you go on...
Oh my god, did you know that alluding to some famous piece of artwork is mocking it?
Actually,
the Bible is the most alluded to piece of works in the Western canon. Number 2 is the works of Shakespeare. You see biblical imagery all the time because the stories were incredibly important to Western culture, but also Renaissance paintings and their tableaus have become ingrained in popular culture. So you see imagery like the Last Supper, or I don't know, things like I don't remember the exact name, or the Mary holding Jesus after being crucified, right? That imagery, the famous I just said the word, now I'm forgetting it. Scenes from the Bible.
Read the lyrics to this song.
Don't get mad at me, okay? I woke up early today.
Jay-Z's verse is very, very blasphemous. This whole entire show was full of symbolism once again. These people think that they are on the winning side
I know that this is probably all prop food, but I want it.
of things, but they are not. They are sadly mistaken. Did any of you watch this? What is your thoughts?
I think you're
Leave your
crazy.
comments down below. Like the video to get it out to more people. Share the content. If you're new here, if you like the things that I'm doing, please subscribe to the channel. And this is Truth Seeker signing out. Welcome to another
Tiger White says, Hannah, you expect me to believe that history's best-selling book influenced too many pieces of media to count? I know. It's unbelievable. We'll take a look at the Jay Dyer guy. Also, the conspiracy crackpots are all up in arms about whatever the hell this is at K&B Plaza. Sounds like Doug McCash story if I've ever seen one. Like a Doug McCash? I don't know what that is. Demons with their dicks out. Why are the new statues all about cock worship? Because they mock us and because they're sticking theirs up ours. Cock worship statues, you say? Flame Hazer says, can I interest you in a Madam Helena Blavatsky, asexual philosopher and nutcase spiritualist who described herself as, quote, a volcano in the brain and glacier at the base of the mountain, and said all she needed was the occasional bent cucumber and she was the woke scam queen that married Eastern philosophy and Western mysticism. The slandered whore by calling her a whore for no... Oh, they slandered her by calling her a whore for no reason. They sexualized any enemy. You accidentally called her a whore. They slandered whore by calling her a whore. It's a little funny. Now let's look up the person that was recommended. Oh my god, it's 40 minutes! Oh no, that's not the video. Was it a live stream or something? Was it a live stream? Ugh. 2 hours? Keith Goblin says, rock out with your cock out, jam out with your clam out. Woo!
No. She don't fix me no Triscuits. She fixed me biscuits. Keto biscuits, by the way.
Only a trollop would make fun of you for that. Guess I'm a trollop.
Suppositional basis for your freestyle. I would like to analyze that right now. And we're starting to do it. Like, you. Satan was in. Here's the baffling. By the way, this weird stuff. But I think when we watch the screen, digging in the dirt. Find the places we got hurt. Digging in the dirt. A cough drop dudes over there.
Chiba Hawk says this guy's energy is very punchable.
And the weird part about this book is that this woman ran off with her therapist, psychologist dude or whatever. Right. And at the end of the book, makes all these really outlandish claims. So basically there's a whole bunch of chapters that seem kind of plausible. And then she gets to the last chapter, like chapter 32.
Starlight Did Nothing Wrong says, as a former Jehovah's Witness, we weren't quite this conspiratorial, but I wasn't allowed to read supernatural-themed books in my room, even as an adult, because the demons would be invited into the home to attack the rest of the family. That's a reasonable thing for adults to believe.
And she just says all this crazy stuff. So it's like her, or there's a specific symbology to the X, which he calls that the mark of the beast. Now, I'm not saying the X is the mark of the beast. Okay? That's kind of goofy. But Crowley thinks that it is because he...
It's goofy that the X is the mark of the beast, but not goofy to think a mark of the beast exists.
Thinks that it's the symbol of the XY axis that plots out the globe, literally. Okay, I'm not joking. So And I think that when you see, people like this using the X symbolism, that's their significance of it, right? So, I mean, Madonna, yeah, she's probably a Crowleyan. There's nothing shocking about that. So that's probably what she is using it for. And I mean, this is kind of, a very Crowleyan style thing going on. I can't tell what's on her thing there. Her a year before Koof. And then here's your I forget them dudes. Them dudes from Atlanta.
Jade says, hot tip, if a religious group is out to make you fearful of everything, it's likely is out to control those that follow it and isn't really religion, but rather a scam to get your money and control your life. I'd argue those things aren't mutually exclusive, but fair enough.
Migos, get it per. Do we got a new freestyle? Why?
I fucking hate this guy, and I just heard about him. Do you have anything a little more, how do I put it? A little briefer, I think I'm gonna have to save this guy and go through and find some stuff. Which I will do. Let's see what else we got. Oh! This is important! Guys, this might be one of the most important conspiracy theories we've ever covered on this channel. Let's get ready, folks.
Shits. 7 billion shits. That's a lot of shit. That's a big pile of shit. Can you imagine if you were 80 fucking years old? The amount of shit you could make? Where are they putting it? You don't.
All right. Shit-spiracy time. Crap-spiracy? Shit-spiracy.
I want to believe in
this is gonna be good.
Magic. I'm a fucking pipe fitter. I'm a sprinkler fitter.
Seems like you should know where the shit goes then, huh?
I know systems, okay? I'm kind of a plumber sometimes. I can change a toilet. I don't know where shit goes. Where does it go? Listen.
It goes to water treatment plants. Or if you have a septic tank, it goes to the septic tank, which needs to then later be, pumped, and then it'll be taken somewhere to, either be, again, processed or turned into, fertilizer or something, or it's just processed generally, like water treatment plant water. Tucker White with 45 bits and a link. He's not a troll.
That is one big pile of shit.
We've actually covered this guy before. He's not a troll. This is just a really weird video by him. Overthought says, Step 1, collect shit. Step 2, Step 3, profit.
7 billion people, okay? Some people take more than one shit. That's 7 billion shits. Do you know what 100 people looks like? Have you seen the pile of shit 100 people can make?
I have never seen 100 people intentionally shit in a pile together, no. I can't say I've seen that.
How about 100,000?
Is Guinness accepting new world records for most people to shit in one pile simultaneously? Because, guys, I am thinking of a community building exercise that we could do together, and I think it'll be pretty cheap.
How about 200, 300, 400,000, 500,000? 999, 999.
Flamehazer with another 1,000 bits says, last message. I command you to get kissed by your gay wife in the name of God. In the Lord's name you will banish the demons of heteronormativity from your home and drive back the infidelity demons, or infidelity demons with the rainbow light of love. Do this in memory of Harvey Milk. Wife! Would you come kiss me? I'll take it. She'll be here shortly.
9 shits. That's 1 billion. Times that by 7.
I think there's 8 billion people on the earth now. I think it's 8 as of recently.
And then add days.
Hello.
Hi, wife.
I'm probably very dilly.
You're very lipsticky.
Mm.
Love you.
Love you too.
Hello, everyone.
Where are they putting this shit? That's
like, does he think shit just sits there forever and doesn't, like, decompose and break apart? It's shit. It's not plastic. Like, it's gonna...
Speak for yourself.
Are you shitting pure plastic?
Of course.
Oh, that's not good. That's a macroplastic. That is not a microplastic.
Are you crying?
Oh, I was probably laughing and I got a... Oh, I was eating the pretzels too. You know how my...
Oh, yeah.
When I got in a thing when I was a kid where I got, like, a scar on my nose and it fucked up all my excrete stuff in my face. So if my saliva is going because I'm eating, you know, when you naturally get saliva, my tear ducts also fucking activate. So anytime I eat, my eyes get really watery.
Yeah, she cries when she eats.
It's not, I'm not crying.
I
My
mean,
eyes just...
literally tears are coming down your eyes. It's crying.
I was injured as a child.
I'm not saying you weren't.
Tucker White with 45 bits.
Gay!
True.
An astronomical fucking number of shits. 7 billion? Shits? 999. Shits. Times.
Tucker White says, considering rain now contains microplastics, we're all shitting and pissing plastic. Oh, yeah. McPlatypus says, fun toilet fact, after the finale of MASH, the flushes from all the people who had been holding it caused a pressure surge in the water going into New York City.
7 times 365. Where are these shits going?
Where are these shits going? Okay, shits, part 2.
Shits, part 2.
The long-anticipated sequel.
So I made a post about how much human waste human beings would create a day or in a year if there were 8 billion of us. And it's an unfathomable pile of shit, right?
Did she?
Yes.
Cat cameo on the bingo card.
It's also...
Gnome Pickles says, my brain is just throwing up error symbols trying to process what this dude is on about. Shit.
An unfathomable number of people. There can't be that many people on Earth.
There are.
It's impossible.
It's not.
And people don't know the value of these numbers, okay? That's the fucking problem. And this is why they do it, okay? If a person is born, there is millions of dollars allotted to each individual person.
Oh no! This is sovereign citizen ideology. That's sovereign citizen stuff where they think you get like 2... It depends on who you're talking to. Some versions of the conspiracy say 1 million, some say 2. The most I've ever heard is 5. So sovereign citizens will sometimes think that when you're born, the government has a secret account with between $1 and $5 million in it. That's your money. But you have to follow tips from sovereign citizens to learn how to get your secret $1 million bank account. Doesn't make any sense.
That's how much money you're going to make in your life.
These are the same people who, by the way, say, like, communism and socialism are evil, and they think the government just gives you $5 million on the day you're born. Starlight did nothing wrong, says, heh, poop. And Gnome Pickle says, is this the shit version of the argument that the Earth cannot be more than a few thousand years old because all the water would have been drunk? Kind of seems like it, doesn't it?
That's how much money...
Like, does he not understand animals are all over the place, too, and they just shit wherever? Like, shit goes back into the earth. Like, it gets... That's why fertilizer works, that's made of shit, because there are, like, things in it that go back into the soil and can be used, that the plants use. It's got what plants crave. Shit, it's what plants crave.
You're going to spend... right? These millions of dollars. And the way the Federal Reserve works, if there's this many people in this country, there has to be this amount of money for supply and demand, basically, right? Same way as companies work.
I feel like this guy's understanding of the economy is bad.
Now, if you have fake people, right? Say there's only half the population they say there is in every single country. Every single...
so you think 3.5 billion people is reasonable, but 7 billion is ludicrous. It's kind of weird.
Election is entirely controlled by people that make up fake numbers.
I thought we were talking about shit. What is this election stuff? Get back to the shit.
Do you get where I'm going with this? If you just create people out of thin air, you also create money out of thin air, and you...
Yeah, that's not how that works, actually. No. Creating people on paper doesn't somehow magically create money. That's not how anything works, ever. How do you think money works? Tucker White says, to be fair, Hannah, economics, especially in this country, is just one giant game of Calvin ball. True.
You also control the entirety of how the world works. Who votes for who. And the bastards at the top are the ones that made all these rules in the first place. Right? How your taxes work. How all these things work. They cook the books for Earth.
They're embezzling from Earth.
Okay, there's a movie that I've been meaning to bring up, and I'm going to show you a clip from it in a second. Hunger Games. Pretty interesting set of movies. And the premise is the elites and the rich and the wealthy use the poor people for fucking entertainment, basically, right? Yeah. So I'm going to show you the scene. I don't know how no one brings
Not
this...
an uncommon theme in dystopian books and movies. Danae Rifa, thanks for 3 months.
It's the hidden in plain sight thing. They go to meet this individual, and her name is Tigress. I'm going to show you the scene, okay?
Oh, the fashion designer guy?
Shut the door, shut the door.
Or are we talking about someone else? No, is this one of the sequels? Okay. I don't think I've seen this one. Is this like in the last Hunger Games movie? Also, is he watching a movie on a tablet? Oh my god. I'm a disgusting purist, but people actually watching movies on phones and tablets drives me fucking crazy. I don't even feel like my 65-inch TV is big enough to watch shit sometimes. People watching fucking cinematic experiences on a fucking phone. Piper Draws and Stuff says, he gives me Hans Wormhat energy. I don't know an easily Googleable thing, therefore the government must be keeping stuff from us.
Like,
I know I'm being a classist shit. It's cheaper to get a phone than it is a big TV, and phones are more useful, I know.
What? This movie is not about fucking aliens. And they just throw this in there. It just blows me away how no one picks up on this shit, you know?
Wait, what are we picking up on?
Like, all these movies, there's no mention of anyone being anything other than human.
Literally 2 humans are in the frame right now, and I'm assuming the tigress lady is still a human. She's just, you know, tattooed to be like a tiger.
And then you watch this.
Did I not read the books? I read the first book. Didn't read them after that. I remember enjoying the first book. I liked it more than the first movie, because a lot of that book is Katniss's inner monologue. And, like, I think the story's a lot weaker without her internal thoughts being evident, but, you know.
And they're obviously exposing something, you know? Anyways, just thought that was interesting. Oh, Disney. I've talked about this movie before. It just crossed my path, so I'm going to talk about it again. I want people to start seeing the subliminal messaging going on. Things that happen to us when we're children that you don't realize, but make a lot of sense when you get older. So this movie's about a little boy. His name is Andy. Think about the names they use for these characters, okay? Woody is his favorite toy. Little boy, right around puberty.
Andy is not around puberty in the first Toy Story movie. He's like maybe 9.
His favorite toy's name is Woody.
Probably at least 2 or 3, maybe 4 years away from puberty.
That is a dick reference, okay?
It's not a dick reference. Woody's called Woody because he was originally a ventriloquist dummy. So in the original pitch for Toy Story, like I said, Woody was supposed to be... Oh, damn, they had a puppet in the... There we go. Woody was originally going to be a ventriloquist dummy. This was what the original concept for Woody looked like. It's a, you know, it's a pun. Woody, he's like a dummy. He's a wooden like, puppet or marionette or whatever. But they changed him to more of like a cowboy doll, but they kept the name. So he's just wrong on that. Damn, don't step to Hannah with Toy Story lore. I know movie things. I know a lot of movie things, so if people come at me with bullshit movie things, I'm onto them.
His next favorite toy is named Buzz.
Yeah, that's true. The character in canon is based on a puppet from Woody's Roundup, so the name still does make sense because the original Woody was a, you know, puppet. Marionette, that's the word. Marionette. I can never remember the word marionette. I need to go watch Being John Malkovich again. You guys seen Being John Malkovich lately? It's a good movie.
What does that remind you of?
It's a gay movie.
An upgraded sex...
Being John Malkovich growing up, when I watched that as a kid, it made me... Not kid, I was probably a... I would consider myself a kid now, but at the, you know, I was like probably 14 at the time when I saw Being John Malkovich for the first time. It's a movie that talks a lot about gender and gender identity and identity in general. It's a good movie. Check it out.
So here's a new one.
Oh no. Yeah, okay, he was just gonna say Toy Story is about, you know, sex.
So here's a new one. Apparently the Earth's core has stopped spinning.
Why are conspiracy theorists like saying this? There was a study done by like a couple of grad students that suggested this might be the case, and then it might be a thing that happens every 70 years or something, slows down and then changes direction. It's not even confirmed.
But don't worry, it's fine. The scientists that work in Mickey Mouse Laboratory have figured it'll start spinning again at some point. These accounts are so full of fucking shit. The amount of desperation, okay, they cause confusion, misinformation, and the account always appears like it's a person worthy of listening to. Like they have 2 million followers. All their comment sections have, you know, 50,000 comments. Look at the people that comment in those sections. It's all bots, okay? They're followed by bots. The comment sections are all bots, and it's just to spread misinformation. They're desperate. They're full of shit. There's no fucking way in hell somebody knows if the core of the, like...
If I know film so well, list the names of the old Planet of the Apes films. Planet of the Apes, Below the Planet of the Apes, Escape from the Planet of the Apes, War for the Planet of the Apes, Battle for the Planet of the Apes.
Find any information whatsoever on the core of the Earth. And I'm not...
Overthought says, honestly, if Mickey Mouse ran a lab, that shit would be secure AF. Gotta protect that intellectual property. It's true.
I'm not jumping on Flat Earth.
I might have gotten War and Battle for the Planet of the Apes mixed up in timeline order, but those are all the titles.
Round Earth, I don't do that. I've talked about this before. It just fucking bothers me because kids see it. They keep spreading the same bullshit over and over and over again. It's like, buddy, fucking give up. Give up, okay? You're fucking pathetic. People are on to you. You look like an idiot. I just fucking, it boils my fucking blood. Justice.
Okay, what else we got?
And here's the latest, and it
What's up, you guys? Plymouth Fury here. I just came across this on Telegram. I thought this was really interesting. It seems that a lot of the hidden technology that these cretins have been keeping from us may be coming to light slowly but surely. This could possibly be one example, or it could be opium. I don't know exactly, but we shall see. Check this out. This is John Teeter official chat.
Oh god, are people still on this John Teeter stuff? That was a hoax from like 2001 or something, and people are still believing this John Teeter shit? For those who don't know, John Teeter is an early internet thing. He claimed to be a time traveler. He claimed that he had been sent back in time to find a specific old brand of computer. And he made specific claims about what was going to happen in the future. All of the predictions were wrong. The one that is notable to me is, I believe, they claimed that World War III was going to break out and that no Olympic Games would be held after 2012. Of course, that didn't happen, but, you know. Of course, John Teeter very cleverly said, well, like, oh, you know, the way time travel works is I'm coming from another future. I'm from the future, but it's like maybe a different future than your future, so things might be different, but... You know, basically someone believed a 4chan shit poster. Except it wasn't 4chan, I don't think.
On, John, he's on Twitter. John Teeter, as those of you that know who John Teeter is, he's the guy that claimed to be a time traveler. This video here is from, what are they called again? It's blocked. Yeah, Creative Society. They got a website. I'll leave links in the description. But, what do you say we give this video here a day in court? Very well.
In the Creative Society, a new technology such as a replicator will be available to all people. A replicator is not science fiction. It's a device that works according to the laws of physics. Let's take a lobster, a t-shirt, or a phone, for example. In appearance, they are completely different, but if we look at them on a micro level, we'll see that they are made up of the same elementary particles.
Okay, and we have no way of even unreasonably reconfiguring those at the level that would allow us to take one object and make it another object the way that you were describing. That is literally something from Star Trek: The Next Generation. I'm not saying humans will never have the capability of doing stuff like this. Who knows? Making any predictions about future technology is foolish, because either you're going to way undershoot it and seem conservative, or you're going to way overshoot it and seem crazy. Like, it's It's pointless. I don't know what the technology of the future is going to be like. Maybe this is possible someday, maybe it's not. But I do know for a fact, nowhere in my lifetime is this going to happen. Marcus Drake says alchemy, but make it sci-fi. Basically, they're describing alchemy.
Only their number is different.
Have I seen the meat 3D printers? I have. They're cool.
And they are arranged in a different way. These particles form...
Yes, 3D printers are cool, but very far from a replicator. They're very, very different things that work on different principles.
Form atoms, and atoms form molecules. Due to a given combination of these elementary particles, we get either a lobster, or a t-shirt, or a phone. The working principle of the replicator is basically to assemble the elementary particles in the proper combination to get what we need. A hot breakfast or fashionable trousers. Moreover, they are brand new, already ironed, and of the highest quality. Everything depends on the program you've set up. For example, in order for a new gadget to appear in a replicator, you need 3 components: energy, particles from which the object will be created, the information about the sequence of their assembly. Energy has been successfully used by humanity for a long time.
Energy has been successfully used by humans for a long time, therefore my invention that uses electricity must actually work, because it's energy, and we use energy for other things. Gnome Pickles says, but only these 3 things. Want something besides a lobster, a phone, or a shirt? Find a different replicator. I do like the idea of just a lobster, phone, or shirt machine, and you keep hitting the wrong button, and you keep getting lobsters, and you're like, fuck, I needed a shirt, and now I gotta eat this lobster.
Creative society will be able to use both new and long-discovered types of energy. Information about an object will be received by scanning the desired objects and
I'm gonna take one of the lobsters and put it back in the machine and turn it into a phone, and I'm gonna call it the Dali. Mr. Whiskers says, my replicator was hacked. These pants are trying to kill me.
Uploaded into the replicator. A similar principle has already been implemented in beverage molecular printing technology. Any beverage is printed directly from molecules. The main
What? That doesn't mean anything.
thing is to have the appropriate amount of particles from which the object we need will be materialized. To do this, we need a utilizer. Unnecessary things will be put in it to be decomposed into elementary particles and placed into cartridges. And the replicator will create whatever you need with the use of the cartridges and information. So you just...
Again, this is just science fiction. It's interesting, and like speculating about far future technologies that are impossible now is one of the ways that we come up with ideas and like advance as a society. If like, you know, technological advancement is something that you think is a good, right? And I'm not saying it's not, I'm just saying, you know, it's debatable. But it's not real. It's not real. It's a thought exercise. It's fun. It's interesting. It's speculative. But it's not real.
dispose of the garbage and get everything you want. Having a utilizer, you will no longer need to wash
It's like a Mr. Fusion a little bit from Back to the Future.
the dishes. Just put in it dirty plates, a tablecloth with crumbs, and you're done. A replicator.
I'm gonna get rid of the whole fucking table. You want me to use the same table 2 days in a row? Disgusting.
Utilizer are devices about the size of your microwave or a small cupboard. The magnetic power inside them will help rearrange the particles according to a given combination. In milliseconds and at any moment, you get everything you need and completely free of charge, without harm to your health or the planet's ecology. A replicator will not only benefit every person, it will also benefit the entire planet. For
Kind of seems like even if we had the technical capability to break an object apart easily like this into usable particles to be reassembled later, kind of seems like the energy required to do so, even for a basic item, would be astronomical. Like, you want to vaporize objects into individual particles. Seems like that's gonna require like a nuclear bomb's worth of energy. I don't know. It's hypothetical anyway, so it doesn't matter, but...
For example, to enjoy a delicious, fresh bun at breakfast today, a whole chain of complex production processes must occur. You need to plow a field, and you need a tractor for this. To produce a tractor and all its component parts, we have to build different factories. And all these factories emit tons of poisonous gases, whereas their wastewater contains dangerous chemical compounds. We also need raw materials that people extract from quarries and mines. To grow wheat, we need pesticides and chemical fertilizers, which poison the soil and the crops. Delivery of everything we need requires a huge expense, fuel and lubricants. We need transport, trucks, ships, and trains. Look how much damage an ordinary bun does to the environment. And the same story is in every manufacturing sector. In the creative society, all these destructive to the environment processes will disappear, as everyone will have a replicator at hand. Just press the button, and here's a bun for you to eat.
You might as well just say, every house will come equipped with a genie, and that genie will solve all these problems. Like, this is so hypothetical, it means nothing.
Will be enough for everyone, anywhere on the planet. We'll be able to cleanse the air, the earth, and the ocean of all dangerous radioactive pollution. Garbage will become the most valuable resource, that is, a source of elementary particles for creating new, beautiful things. The Creative Society is a world where you will enjoy the most advanced technology, and your life will be financially independent, comfortable, and prosperous.
They have a website. Oh God, is it a cult? Is it a cult? Is this a cult? Okay, I'm gonna guess cult.
Time ticks on as climate rages. How far gone?
Once in 1,000 years. Such a climate catastrophe hit northeastern Brazil.
It's an 11-hour video on their YouTube channel, just for the record. What in the world is this?
This is an IQ test. If you're too stupid to understand this, instead, you're thoroughly brainwashed by governments to think global warming is caused by your car, your hibachi, you breathing too much, and cow farts. You're too stupid for this discussion at all. It's like
Let me take a look. About the Creative Society Project. A Creative Society is a worldwide project of all humanity, and it concerns everyone. A precedent for the creation of this project was the Global International Conference Society, The Last Chance, that has united people from many countries of the world. Residing in different parts of the world, people have gathered in numerous conference halls and simultaneously got connected with each other in a video broadcast via the internet in order to frankly and honestly discuss the challenges faced by modern civilization. The conference had led to the conclusion that the main problem of contemporary humanity is the consumerist format of society, while the only way out of the current dead-end situation is a change of the society format entirely from a consumerist to a creative one. Now, I would agree that consumerism is destructive, but this is very culty. A little concerned about it. The Creative Society Project is a cause of all people. This is why participants themselves implement this initiative. Participants of Creative Society Project represent general public. These people advocate implementing the 8 pillars of creative society in all countries. What are the pillars and stages for building a creative society? I just want a list. The goal and the meaning. The most important thing is the goal. If there is a goal, everything makes sense. And if there is no goal, then everything else is meaningless. What is our goal? Our goal is to get out of this dead end of consumer society, which is in fact a form of hidden slavery, a disguised system of slavery in which we all exist today as humanity, and to start living as human, not a beast. The main goal is to achieve and build an ideal society of spiritually free people, a society that would guarantee future generations a worthy life, benefits in spiritual and moral prosperity, society of love and humaneness, or as it's called in different religions, Eden, the society of the future, which already today changes you while you act and fill your life with a higher meaning. Oh boy. I hope it's not a cult and just people doing shit. Still getting cult vibes. Still getting very cult vibes.
I woke up in the insane asylum and the patients have taken over. And taken over academia.
How was the replicator made? It's replicators all the way down.
Too. Like I said, they've institutionalized stupidity for the one purpose of gaining money. If there was nobody...
Found a short Mandela effect vid.
Okay, so I'm watching this woman's video.
First of all, you all know that I kind of am obsessed about the Mandela effect things. I think they're interesting. I don't put a lot of stock into them, but there are certain things that I feel like I remember. This morning I came across a new one that is freaking me out a little bit. So I'm a big Harry Potter fan. We all know this. And I'm a big fan of Miriam Margolyes, Professor Sprout.
And she's talking about the Mandela effect and Miriam Margolyes, and I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be really sad for her, because what she's going to think is that she saw Miriam Margolyes in something recently, and then she's going to find out that she passed away like 6 or 7 years ago. And the reason that I remember that she passed away is because I had met her and hung out with her for like 40 minutes or so in the studio at Family Guy. She had come in for a tour, and we just had a really fun time. She was so witty and warm and wonderful, and we just had this great time for like 30 or 40 minutes. And then a couple years later, I remember seeing the obit on the Yahoo homepage, and with the little picture of her, and I just remember feeling so sad about it. But that's why I remember specifically that she passed away. But then I watched the rest of the video.
I've loved her. I mean, I'm a 90s kid, so I watched Romeo and Juliet. She was Juliet's nurse. I love the woman. I could have sworn she died. And I was very sad about it. I remember watching tributes to her and people talking about how much she's going to be missed because she was so funny and she was so kind, and I loved the videos of like her cussing. Like, she was just hilarious and wonderful, and she died, and it was very sad. I just saw an article today that she's possibly going to be in the 60th anniversary special of Doctor Who. And I Googled her, and she's still alive.
Cool. And she is alive. I went and Googled her as well because I didn't believe it. She is still alive and kicking. She's 81 or something, but she's still around. I have no explanation for that.
You misremembered.
Not at all.
That's the explanation for literally every Mandela effect thing. You misremembered, and you'll go, but that's so important, how would I misremember that? Well, that's the point of the Mandela effect, isn't it? You don't remember that you remembered wrong. That's what makes it a Mandela effect.
Because I have a very specific memory of seeing this obituary.
Okay, it's wrong.
And being very saddened by it because I had hung out with her. And some people are going to say, oh, you're getting her confused with Helen McCrory, who played Malfoy's mom. I am not. Because I also met Helen because she's a friend of Swampy's. And that hit me hard too when she passed away. But they were years apart.
Okay, in your head you could be conflating them. Dude, I can't believe anyone really thinks the Mandela effect is like a supernatural or like paranormal thing. You forget things as a person. Your memories are stored in your head meat. Your memories are literally stored in meat. Meat is not a good storage medium. Simzoid, thanks for 21 months. If replicators ever do become a thing, what is the chance the public would ever know? Something tells me the scientists would all have, quote, accidents in their research lost. I don't know. That's such a hypothetical question. A society that could produce a replicator would be so foreign to us just because, again, the technological advancements necessary to even get to the point where you could hypothetically create a replicator, like, we can't even imagine it. The amount of energy and understanding of physics that would be required. Like,
And I have no explanation.
You forgot. Okay, moving on. Oh, this was sad. Let's take a listen to this, or I'll read it and you listen. A Pennsylvania family found shot dead in their backyard last week in what police say appears to be a suicide pact included a mother and daughter who loved bowling and were devout Christian conservatives, people who knew them said. Montux with a link. Oh.
All the way through. They are completely meat. It's impossible.
Isn't this that thing where the... Oh, yeah. I've read the story that this is based on. It's pretty interesting. Anyway, I'm going to go back to the article, though, because I don't want to listen to the whole thing.
Hi, everyone. This is broadcast...
No, shut up. Shut your face. Anyway, a Pennsylvania family found shot dead in their backyard last week in what police say appears to be a suicide pact included a mother and daughter who loved bowling and were devout Christian conservatives, people who knew them said. Morgan Daub, 26, and her parents, James Daub, 62, and Deborah Daub, 59, were found dead on the ground in their backyard of their home in York County, Pennsylvania on the morning of January 25th, after police responded to a request for a welfare check from a neighbor. The West Manchester Township Police Department has since said that notes left inside the house indicate that the family recently made a, quote, joint decision to end their lives. Police believe Deborah Daub shot and killed her husband, then was shot and killed by Morgan, who died by suicide. Police said there were no signs of forced entry or struggle, and no evidence that anyone else had been present. Fucking yikes. So not only did they do a suicide pact with their kid, they made their kid kill them both first before she shot herself. That's fucking sick. That's fucking sick. An investigation into the deaths has been closed. People who knew the family expressed shock and heartbreak at the deaths. Morgan was described by members of the local bowling community as shy, quiet, young woman who was close with her mother, and also a talented and avid bowler until she and her mother suddenly stopped visiting bowling stores and alleys in the area a few years ago, around the start of the pandemic. Quote, Morgan didn't have a lot of words to say, said Brett Stabley, who operates the pro shop at Bowler's Supply in York, Pennsylvania, where the mother and daughter were longtime customers. Stabley said he believed Morgan, who he described as very meek and quiet, but also very bright, was homeschooled, and her mother often spoke on her behalf. There's no way this kid made this decision freely. This was something that the kid, ironically enough, was definitely groomed to do by the parents. This is fucking sick. 20 seconds left to start a hype train. Stabley said he gave Morgan many bowling lessons over the years, and she became more sociable as she grew older. She was also quite a good bowler, he said. Stabley said the Christian church-going family was never shy about letting anybody know what their beliefs were when it came to religion and politics. Morgan and Deborah, very, very huge supporters of former President Donald Trump, Stabley said. They were just hell-bent on Trump winning. Like, this could be the end if he doesn't, Stabley said, referring to an instance when he saw them just before the 2020 election. He said he stopped seeing the two after that. Oof. Oh, Jay, I lost. Thanks for gifting 10 Tier 1 subs. Almost kicks off a hype train. Because the other one ran out. Thank you very much. Very generous. A neighbor who asked to remain anonymous for fear of personal or professional retaliation in their town said the family had a, quote, preoccupation with religion, especially on the dad's part. The family's front yard was also littered with pro-Trump political signs during the elections and anti-abortion signs when Roe v. Wade was overturned, the neighbor said. Terry Miller, the owner of the suburban Bowlerama, said Morgan and Deborah came to his bowling center a couple times a week. She grew up here, he said of Morgan. To me, just watching their interactions, they just enjoyed it. They seemed to spend a lot of time together, he said. But Morgan and Deborah stopped suddenly coming by around 2019, Miller said. Looking back, he said it was definitely weird that the two stopped coming in. Mick Platypus says, stoking the boiler. Thank you. It takes, I think, 100 bits to count towards starting a hype train. Oh, Nemesaur gifts 10 tier 1 subs. That'll do it. That'll kick it off just fucking crazy. With you and Jay, I lost 10 gift subs. That's good. Thank you very much. I don't even know where it's gonna start us on. Stabley said he was disturbed to see recent videos appearing to show Morgan on YouTube. In the videos, which the West Manchester Township Police Department has also said appear to show Morgan, the young woman speaks in a stream of consciousness fashion about God, the Antichrist, and conspiracies about Trump in the 2020 election. Stabley said he's haunted by Morgan's laughter in the videos. I never, ever saw Morgan in that state, he said. 78% to level 5 on the hype train. Wow, got there quick. Mr. Whiskers, thanks for gifting a sub and getting us to 95% to level 5. Detective Timothy Fink said in a statement to NBC News on Friday that Deborah Daub left a written document, signed January 19th, in which she speaks of a joint decision by her and Morgan to end their lives. It refers to the, quote, evil that has mounted against Morgan, but does not go into further detail. This makes me wonder, the evil that is mounted against Morgan, which is the daughter. Is the daughter gay or bisexual or trans or something? Because that sounds like the kind of thing a really religious parent says when their kid is doing something that they don't like. Evil mounted against Morgan. Morgan and her father also left notes indicating that the family had planned how to carry out the shootings and made other preparations, including what to do with the family dog and assets. Those notes were dated January 24th, a day before the bodies of the family were found. Police said that the positioning of the bodies, the 2 guns found at the scene, the shell casings, and other evidence support the account put forward by the written document left behind by the family, that all 3 family members all 3 family members decided to end their lives on January 24th, 2023. Meanwhile, the neighbors said they are in shock and disbelief that something like this could happen so close to home. When I interacted with them in person, they kept it under wraps, the neighbor said. I didn't see that break through the surface at all. Pretty nuts. Pretty nuts. I don't know if we could find any of the... And I'd be honestly pretty uncomfortable watching them on stream, but I'm curious if any of the videos that the family made are still up on YouTube anywhere. Vontux with 100 bits says, where is all this extremism going, you think? What will critical mass look like? I think we're already seeing it. I think it's basically going to continue for a while to be right-wing extremists trying to do mass shooting events, trying to target trans people and LGBT people in general. Pride Month this year and Pride events this year in particular, I think, are going to be scary. I'm not saying don't go. I'm not saying let fear, I'm just saying stay safe. Be aware of your surroundings. Situations like this, where some might take their own lives, other situations where they're going to go and try and take out power stations and stuff like we've already seen. I assume it'll be a lot of individual, smaller cells of extremists doing stuff like that. We got over level 5. Thanks, everyone. 1% to level 6 on the hype train. Forrest Espion says, fundamentalist is the heart of a lot of suffering here in America. Poor kids. Matt Walsh would never talk about his abusive groom for death. Any thoughts? I mean, Matt Walsh just hates trans people and he'll use any excuse, so.
I can't be in 15. This video, present it, and let's and here. and see if we can.
DJ Shay says, talking of power stations, did you see one of the Adam Waffen founders has been picked up by the cops after the brains behind one of the attacks? I didn't see that.
Hello, everyone. Hello. I thought I should use this accent, really. Hello, everyone. Morgan Elizabeth Daub here, York, Pennsylvania, United States of America. I hope this travels the world. I really do. Oh, I hate the privacy being stolen, but I hope this rocks the world today. This video, please do send it out. Please do. Finally, God, I did not know him.
Well, this is fucking sad.
Long story.
She's very quiet. I don't know if videos got deleted, but there's only 3 videos anyway. But seems like a quiet person. Someone who was indoctrinated, I'm guessing, from quite a young age. Not good. Not good. It's a shame. Okay, what else we got?
Passing the seed, and Hi everyone, this is Broadcasting the Seed, and
BD Kappa thinks her 33 months, 33. It's the Mason number. 16% to level 6.
I have some amazing information today, and this is going to be huge. So now,
yeah, she's from York, Pennsylvania. The woman who was in the suicide pact.
This is going to help tremendously in understanding a lot of things, and I mean truly. And this is coming directly from Lieutenant, or our as we call the People's General, which is General Michael Flynn. So he dropped something here. Now I want to show you something that some people may not see, but I'm gonna clarify this because it's a way of using as what God would call being wise as serpents but gentle as doves. And this is exactly what Michael Flynn is doing, and I am so excited. So he writes here, the whole world's brainwashed. The whole world is brainwashed. And then he says, check out our newest book, quote, The Citizen's Guide to Fifth Generation Warfare, 5GW. So you have to understand also that 5G being spoken of
5G on the bingo
by
card.
Trump early on.
Thanks for the level 5 hype,
administration. And some people kind of probably thought he was talking about the 5G in the technology regarding cell phones and internet and things like that. But as we know, things have double meaning, or more than one meaning, I should say. It's not always 2 meanings, but more than one meaning. So perhaps he was trying to let us know. And as we know, on the drops of the Q drops, it does say understand our comms. So he's speaking to military. We are told that
QAnon claimed as a source on the bingo card. Bontuck says, is suicide making you hellbound only a Catholic thing? I thought Christians weren't allowed to kill themselves. How could they justify this ideologically? People will justify whatever they want, for being honest. Whether they're Christian or whatever else. If someone wants to do something, they will justify it for themselves. People always carve out exceptions for themselves. I don't know if you know this, people are kind of shit.
Military.
I am a people. Not excluding myself.
Is the only way. And through the drop, some of you are probably familiar with that. So if you are familiar with that, this is exactly what is going on. You know, people that have military backgrounds. If you notice also on the Q drops, it does say, are you ready to serve your country again? So this is spiritual warfare. This is war for the mind. And things have to be done in the fashion of not knives and guns and things like that. But they have to take what these people are doing against humanity and turn it back on them. And this is exactly what we're doing, what these people are doing. So the military is very smart in doing this stuff. But also, it's giving information to us that is so important as to see how these tactics have been used against us for centuries, okay? For millennia.
More Chud Watch than Tinfoil, but the fandom menace isn't doing well? I hope not. Oh, we haven't watched Doomcock in a while. What's that dude been up to? I'll do the Doomcock voice for this.
Some of us, with our pride, our taste, our balls intact, will never forgive or forget the previous 2 seasons of Star Trek Picard, which turned Picard into a dickless weasel, then killed him off. And Terry Metalis was a showrunner on Season 2. So much for getting Star Trek. Amended, any Star Trek fan who supports a show from a company that single-handedly destroyed Star Trek and kicked fans in the teeth since 2017 is a simp, a cuck, a shill, or is deluded by false hope. Supporting Picard Season 3 is just rewarding the murderers of Trek. It makes me sick. I amended my first tweet because it wasn't fair to Trek fans who are fooled by the phony shill hype and member berries of Picard Season 3. Some fans just want to see the TNG reunion, even if it's held at Trek's wake. A wake thrown by the butchers that killed it and laughed at our tears.
At our fucking tears? Jesus Christ. Like, there are Star Trek shows that I don't like either. I also didn't like Season 1 of Picard. I didn't watch Season 2. But you know what I don't do? I don't fucking cry about it. I just say, okay, well, I guess that show wasn't good or wasn't for me. And I move on. Strange New Worlds has been good. I've been enjoying that. Gnome Pickle says, am I the only one who thinks that Q drops sound like a really shitty generic medicine-adjacent scam product? Got itchy red eyes? Try new medicated Q drops. Now with aloe vera. I don't think you're supposed to put aloe vera in your eyes. for the record. Maps and Mimic says, I used to live about 20 minutes from West Manchester, where that girl used to live. I traveled a lot for school stuff, and while I have no reason to actually believe I met her, she looks eerily familiar, and that's a weird feeling. I bet.
And it's just gotten worse by the end, and the end times is the end.
I haven't seen Prodigy yet. I'm sure I will at some point, because you guys know I collect Blu-rays. Hannah mentions Blu-rays on the bingo card. And I own every Star Trek thing ever released on Blu-ray, as of yet. So once Prodigy comes out, which I think is soon, it might have even come out this week or recently, it's going to get added to my collection just because I own all of Star Trek.
Christ, this is
including Picard Seasons 1 and 2, which I didn't really like, but it's a collection thing, so.
This is where this is.
Maybe I'll like them someday. Who knows?
The biggest of deceptions. And if you read in the Bible, it does say that God will send a great delusion because he wants to wake people up. And those who understand God. And
Von Tuck says, Star Trek fans have been saying new Trek is the death of real Trek since TNG. That's true.
The wisdom. And
like, people shat on Deep Space Nine, too, when that started coming out. And, like, Deep Space Nine is now, like, a cult classic Star Trek series that's, like, having a little bit of a renaissance currently. Rightfully so. I think that's a great show.
Have understanding will absolutely know that this is what's going
I like Lower Decks. A lot of it's just reference humor, but I like it.
Going on, and it does need to be exposed. So I want to try to bring up the scripture if I can, but just know that if I'm saying that, look it up. Just type in those words, like sending a great delusion, and then put the word scripture after, and you'll find exactly where it is in scripture. And if you're interested in finding some of the things in Q, just go into the Q drops and type in a word. You know, for instance, how can I say this? Warfare or whatever, and you're going to get drops that pertain to that, and specifically might even have that very word, most likely. But in this one, I want to say that because he left this link here, okay, there's two things going on. This link, first you see here, okay, when you first open it, the very first thing that's going to play is a song, okay, that is from Tom MacDonald, Brainwashed, okay. This is a white guy, and it's very rap-like. But the words what? Are exactly what is going on. Okay, so this is the first song. So naturally, people would think that that's where General Flynn is leading you. However, when you click on it, it's not just a video that shows up, but you'll see that it actually connects to an entire playlist. So what's that telling you? And then to find out that the playlist is unlisted, which means that only those with a link can look at this. So the content that's in here is part of a lot of things that your eyes need to be open to, and the manipulation, especially when it comes to Hollywood and things like that. Now, there was one particular documentary that was in here, and only part was in there. So I found part 2, 3, and 4, and I created my own playlist regarding that. And I also did it in an unlisting, because I did one for myself, and I made one unlisted, which means that the link that I'm going to leave, because if you are not a bot, you can click on that and look at this. This is a 4-part.
No, I have no idea where this is going. I think it's just a ramble. This is definitely word salad on the bingo card.
Series, and this is actually called the Century. Oh, sorry about that. The Century of the Self. Excuse me. I'm just so excited because we're starting to see how this operation is absolutely being used against them, and not having to fire a shot, quote unquote, so to speak. So, and yeah, when you have to take down your enemy, you have to be wise as a serpent and gentle as a dove. That is exactly what the Bible tells us to be like, and but not in a harmful, deceptive way.
Okay, this lady's just rambling.
Just been through.
Good morning.
How about angry flat earth man?
Afternoon. Let's one more time just explain why I have the point of view, the opinions I do, especially regarding people that, come out and, claim to be exposing truths, whether they claim they're truthers or not. You'll notice a lot of these high count people that the world love, high counts of subscribers. If you're in the world will love its own. If you've removed yourself from the world, they'll despise you. Well, I couldn't be happier with my barely over 1,000 sub count, let me tell you.
You sound very happy about it.
I'm ecstatic that the world rejects me. Shows me I'm on the right path, whether you agree with it
Fucking yikes, DJ Shay. Tom MacDonald sounds like a shitbag.
or not. Couldn't care less. Couldn't care less how many subs I got, how many views I got, how many likes I got. The less, the better. Because it shows I'm about the truth. I'm not a fence-sitting, lukewarm.
The fact that my opinions are unpopular are evidence of how true they are, actually.
Glory seeker. All my glory is to God, for He is the only reason I have any truth. He is the truth. Yet you'll have these even supposedly conservative truth tellers, comedians, whatever, constantly invoking the name of Satan anytime there's something going on that is evil that they can't seem to comprehend because their entire worldview is delusional and schizophrenic, and I don't mean that as an insult once again.
This guy's a flat earther, I remind you.
I mean it as absolute fact.
How old is this? This is from 4 hours ago.
Because they believe they live.
Yeah, we can check bingo after this. This is probably the last video anyway. We've been going for 3 hours, so if we don't get a bingo at the end of this, no bingo.
Live on a heliocentric model that is based on a firecracker of nothing. There is no Satan nor God in the heliocentric model. Yet these people...
They're completely separate things. Why would you have to include a god in your model of, like, the solar system? That doesn't make sense.
People will constantly invoke God or Satan in their rambling diatribes of schizophrenic, delusional babble. I cannot take as truth or anything I should even listen to and consider as truth from people that constantly invoke the name of Satan or God, yet believe they live on a whirling, twirling vacuum ball, gravity glued to it, that is supposedly orbiting the sun. The very sun the Bible tells us.
Idiot thinks he's a genius, yes.
God didn't even create till the fourth day. Yet they'll constantly invoke God. It's no different than all the Christians that claim they love Jesus and then claim they live on a firecracker of nothing, evolved, whirling, twirling space ball. These two paradigms cannot coexist. Either you are a happy accident of evolution, or you are a created child of God, in which Satan and the fallen want to steal your soul because they despise you, because you are the apple of God's eye.
No, he is a Christian. He just hates that he thinks every Christian should be a flat earther. So he thinks that Christians who aren't flat earthers are hypocrites. How much longer is this stream going? Not much longer. This is the last video.
Period.
Then we're going to do a final bingo check. And then we're going to call it a night.
So, this is why I get so frustrated with these truth tellers and these simping for shekels
thinly veiled anti-Semitism on the bingo card.
Glory, fame, popularity, and all the shekels that come with it, because they're all up in this world of constant lies. And to this day, after 8 years of the truth...
Evolution isn't a happy accident, it's an algorithm. That's actually kind of a good way of explaining it.
Truth of the earth we live on being exposed. If these simps cannot figure out the globe model is a complete and utter, not only lie, but a joke of a lie that is easily disproven with action.
Now, he hasn't mentioned Mark of the Beast. The Mark of the Beast was mentioned earlier, though, so that is on the bingo card. That was mentioned during a fashion video.
Actual.
Or something.
Scientific method-based science. Then
scientific method-based science. Little redundant.
They are poster boys for Dunning-Kruger.
That's ironic.
Which all of the clinically insane people running around telling you there's 70-some genders, all the trans, delusional, insane...
Capricorn, thanks for 9 months. Ooh, sub-babies. This sub-baby's name is Bald Transphobe. Bald Angry Transphobe is the name of this baby. Ironically, this baby is trans.
Sanity they spew, all the race baiting they spew. Those people are easy to identify as insane. What's dangerous is those that come out and expose those people, but that's as far as they want to look. They don't want to look any deeper. They're surface truthers at best. They don't want to look at the
base lies like where we live. If you don't know where you live and can't
Michigan
figure out there is no God nor Satan in a happy accident of nothing derived whirling twirling spaceball model, then you are schizophrenic and delusional.
Not a fan of using schizophrenic and what appears... I know he's saying he's not using it in a derogatory way, but he clearly is.
And have no business claiming to be about truth in any sense of the form. Well, they're just comedians. Yeah. So is Satan.
Did I miss that bit of lore? What was Satan's Type 5 like? What's the deal with demons? One day you're telling him to cut people's dicks off, and the next day they don't know what to do with that pile of dicks. Am I right? Satan is not a very good comedian. Medicated person with 15 months says 2-month prime streak. Woo!
Ultimate joker. He loves to mock you. Especially when you run around.
Everyone knows Satan is a fiddle player. He's got a whole vaudeville act. He's got a Type 5 comedy set. He does the fiddle thing. He knows how to juggle a little bit.
I'm thinking you're an evolved being on a happy accident of a firecracker of nothing, then happen to invoke his title or God at the same time. You're fucking delusional.
Gnome Pickle says, good Godfrey, Satanist Shoji Tabuchi. God damn it.
It's no...
Shoji can play a mean fucking fiddle.
Different than all the flat earth...
Did you know his fiddle's made of material from NASA?
That say, oh yeah, Flat Earth Society and them misrepresent us by putting a disc and trying to include it in the heliocentric model. Well, that's no different than trying to invoke God or Satan in the heliocentric model. They cannot coexist.
He likes to say the same little catchphrase over and over. I think I need a catchphrase. Worked for Larry the Cable Guy. Maybe if I have a catchphrase, people, you know, it'll really punctuate the streams.
So this is why I have such a problem with these people.
Like the catchphrase will tell you when you should laugh. It's easier for people, you know?
They are as dangerous, if not more, than the easily recognizable and sane that think there's 70-some genders.
I haven't heard neo-pronoun discourse in like 2 years.
And it all derives and comes down to the school systems that are corrupt, illegitimate governments force our children into to be indoctrinated into this...
Piper Draws and stuff says Hannah's catchphrase is, what are you talking about?
Schizophrenic worldview where they don't know.
You think there's approximately 8 billion genders? That's true. There are 8 billion, and every time you make a pronoun joke, we add a billion more.
What's up or down, or their ass from a hole in the ground. Literally.
I don't want anyone to fuck my hole in the ground, so I do know the difference.
And until that's addressed, this world will never get any better. And these people don't have the spine or fortitude for whatever reason. Maybe it's just the veil over their eyes. They have not the eyes to see or ears to hear the actual truth. The bigger lies that all the other little political lies they love to talk about derive from. Once again, not my problem. Because I've removed myself from this world. I relish the rejection I get from this world. And all the glory, all the wisdom, all the recognition goes to him. I don't need it. Don't want it. Not in this world. until the truth returns. And the whole world will recognize it. It's all I care for. Then it will be his glory. I don't need it, don't want it. But all these popular channels, they love it.
This guy 100% has high blood pressure. And it's entirely based on the fact that he is stressed out at imaginary threats constantly.
All the shekels that come with it. That's why they disgust me. Sorry if my opinion triggers you. Once again.
Sir, I'm not triggered. You're just cringe.
Not sorry.
He is saying shekels, which is why I said thinly veiled anti-Semitism on the bingo card. It's a dog whistle. It's an anti-Semitic dog whistle.
Because I could.
The implication being that you are paid in quote-unquote shekels by them.
Couldn't care less.
If anyone...
Chibbers the Squirrel says the whole in this world but not of it aspect of Christianity has to be one of the most toxic parts. It enables them to ignore valid criticism while also not caring what happens to the world or environment.
one is ever going to mix two out.
I will skip briefly, but I don't care to watch a dog be washed.
It's very important to me that I'm going to ask that you...
Also, I'm pretty sure these videos get... I gotta remove them on YouTube, because, you know, they're her videos.
mean the absolute homemade Italian food.
I like the little beekeeper thing she got on her.
You require...
Like, I know it was to keep fur out of her hair and face and stuff.
But...
We'll look at the bingo card.
Because he was done with his kitty timer. Because remember, he's a husky, so essentially he's a cat. In bubblegum pet cologne. And the absolutely gorgeous Axel is all finished. Today, for our pet of the day, we have Nyx and Hennessy.
Cute. Alright, let's take a look at the bingo card, then we'll do a raid. Doom, doom. Stephen J. Neptune Man with 45 bits says, hey Hannah, fun fact, AEW wrestler Saraya, how do you pronounce that? Saraya has discovered the Flat Earth community and has been horrified to find out it exists. That's funny. Let's see, Illuminati Freemasons. Hey guys, I'm totally here to help tell you about, you know, that one, the product placement one. Can you rate VO? Is it just VIO? Or is there more to the name? Let me know. Yes, okay. My research said not by a researcher. Word salad. Believe sci-fi tech exists. QAnon claimed as a source. CBD claimed to be a cure / panacea. Reptilians. Baja Blasts. An idiot thinks they're a genius. Hannah flirts with Baja. I guess that's true. With the kiss and everything. Sure. Page 2. Satanic! The gay agenda for the Hans video. Mark of the Beast. Transphobia, transvestigation. Thinly veiled anti-Semitism. cat makes a guest appearance. Oopsie. Fuck. Hate when I do that. Hannah mentions Blu-rays. I think that's it? Question mark? Does anyone have a bingo? No? You're so close. Did we have 5G? What was 5G from? Might have forgot in the shuffle. Okay, we'll do 5G. Why not? Oh, yeah, bad parenting. Duh. They killed their kid, basically. That's real bad. Oh. Anyone? Any bingos? Bueller? 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 No? Okay. Cool. Well, normally I would gift a random sub, but I'm pretty tapped until we get paid again. So, I'm not going to gift a random sub today. Wait, do you have a bingo? Bingo question mark? Let's take a look. Anyone who thinks they have a bingo can post their card. Sanzine was first, I think. We did have Flat Earth, yes. Let's take a look. Where's supposed to be the bingo? Hydrate. You gotta actually mark it. Hannah flirts with Baja. CBD claimed to be a cure. We didn't have legal coup. Ad hominem? No, 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 no. Okay, I'm confused. It didn't populate for some reason? Okay. I don't see where a bingo would even be, though, is my point. Like, where would it be? I don't think there's one on here, so I'm going to say I don't think so, unless I'm missing something. Mr. Sir Knight Kingyo. Transphobia. Someone doesn't understand how cameras work. This one's a win. So unless Sanzine has something that I'm not seeing, I think that Mr. Sir Knight Kingyo has it. Okay. Sorry. Mr. Sir Knight Kingyo, I'm going to write your name down and then I'm going to gift you a sub when I get paid. So you're on the list. Unless someone else wants to give them a sub right now for Mr. Sir Knight Kingyo. Either way, I'm writing down your name because I owe you a sub no matter what. Let me write it down. Hey, Bittergrin, thank you. I'm still going to write your name down, so you basically get 2 because I'm in, you know. Because I can't get you today. But someone else did, and I'll get you next time. Sound good? Thank you, Bittergrin. I appreciate that, by the way. Alright, let's see. Raid. I know we were asked to do a raid for someone in particular. Love you too, Mr. Blast. Oh, no. Who was the person I was supposed to raid? VO? VIO? This person?
To be.
Excuse me. Sorry. Alright. Have a good night, everyone. I will see you tomorrow for Something. Have a good night, everyone. We'll be doing probably regular time tomorrow, so probably start around 5, 5:30, 6. Somewhere in there. Good night, everyone. Adios.